Live from DeSales High School, Centurion football is tonight. The Christian Academy Louisville Centurions 7-4 on the season, come to play the DeSales Colts at 8-3 on the season in the second round of the Class 3A state tournament. Hello, everybody. I'm Mike Botello, privileged to bring you tonight's play-by-play, and I'll be joined by a new voice on the Cal Sports Network. Draper Hall is with us. Draper is the third and fourth grade head coach at Christian Academy, former linebacker at Memphis University. We have forgiven him for that, and he has agreed to come and broadcast us with us tonight. We've given you a nice, easy game to start with, Draper.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mike. Appreciate it. Appreciate the opportunity to join you tonight.
Well, great to have you here, and it should be an exciting game, of course, in the regular season. The reason we're here, a 35-28 double overtime victory by DeSales. But as we look at the stats, pretty evenly close teams.
Yes, so Cal has had a pretty balanced attack all year, 280 attempts for rushing and about 258 for pass. And unlike the Sales, they're not as balanced as Cal. So I expect a lot of pass and running tonight as we go throughout the game.
As we look at this DeSales team, Jaden Scroggins did not play last week. He has been their starting quarterback over the last part of the season. Had a concussion, not able to play last week, expected to be back in there tonight. But you talk about their great running attack, and you got to talk about James Johnson then.
Absolutely. James Johnson is a phenomenal player. He's had 149 rushing attempts on the season for about 1,200 yards and 16 touchdowns. So he's definitely going to be out there tonight.
Had over 180 yards in the game against the Centurions earlier in the year, but the last part of that game, Centurions kind of started to figure him out and how to get him, and he started to look for tacklers coming all around him.
Absolutely.
When you talk about the Centurions, you got to talk about that passing attack that is ranked second in the state, and Anthony Sabatino has been on fire the last two games.
Yes, the last two games, he's been 28 for 38, 545 yards, 8 TDs, and only 1 interception. So the last two games have been really great for Sabatino.
Of course, on the offense side, that double running attack of Brant Babin, Harrison Zimmer, 560 and 749 yards respectfully carries Centurions in that aspect. But when you come to the defense, you got to talk about sacks on this defensive team and a tough front line for that DeSales team.
Yeah, DeSales has about 3 or 4 defenders that have really impacted their season. You talk about Mekhi Lewis Sr. He's had about 50 tackles this season with 11 sacks and 10.5 tackles for loss. DeJuan Watkins is also another guy that stands out with 56 tackles and 12.5 sacks and 13.5 tackles for a loss. And then rounding out that defensive front is Darren Hollenkamp with 42 tackles and 2 fumble recoveries, and Lance Waiter Jr. with 4 interceptions and a TD. So definitely some great defensive players on the DeSales side of the ball.
You know, interestingly enough, DeSales leads the state in sacks. Christian Academy third in the state in sacks. And you go back to the game earlier in the year, Centurions had 2 sacks in the game. DeSales only had 1. So let's throw the stats out the window for this game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know one thing I'll be looking for tonight. I know DeSales is only giving up 108 yards a game, and I know last week Cal rushed for 188 yards. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how that all plays out throughout the course of the game.
Centurions will be receiving the opening kickoff tonight as we get ready for action here. Givens, the fine field goal kicker, in fact, leads the state in field goals, will be kicking off. Back for the Centurions, the 2 very dangerous return men, Gage Guerin and, of course, Luke Leeper. And they are ready to start this game. DeSales got the opening kickoff earlier. Centurions, if you remember that opening game, spotted DeSales 21 points to start the game, finally tied it at 21. DeSales scored another touchdown to go up by 7. Centurion scored with only 1:27 to go to tie it. Then a double overtime finally decided in DeSales' favor. Givens approaches the ball. It's going to be a short kick, and it's going to bounce and picked up at the 25 and going back to about the 35-38 was Leeper, I believe. No, it was Gage Guerin who took that. Thank goodness he came up. There was a Cal football player standing right next to him and just kind of wasn't even looking at the ball coming down.
Absolutely. Great run. Way to start the game with some excellent field position as Cal begins their first drive of the game.
Centurions will start at their own 36-yard line. And last week we saw Centurions come out with a double backfield of Braden and Brant Babin. Let's see what they set up today. They're going 3 receivers in the single backfield of Babin. King and Guerin split to the left. Leaper on the far side to the right. Sabatino under center. That big defensive front looms in front of the Centurions, but it's a handoff to Babin. And he's going to get it back to the line of scrimmage for no gain. Up, they're going to give him about a yard. It looks like it'll be 2nd and 9 for the Centurions.
Yeah, it looks like DeSales, they have 7 in the box, and they're determined, looks like, to kind of stop the run on tonight and force Cal to do some different things.
Centurions we talked about Sabatino's job the last 2 games. Their offense the last 2 games have set they've set a new record in total offense for the Centurions, and I believe 3rd in total offense over the years of Cal football. Sabatino in the shotgun this time with Babin just to his left, back to pass, looking, going to throw a screen to Babin. He's got a couple guys to beat, and he comes back the other way. He's not going to beat anybody. He is thrown for a major loss. They're going to mark it at the 32-yard line, and DeSales ready for that screen pass. Ball's going to be marked at the 32. It is going to be 3rd and 14 for the Centurions. Centurions last week against Mercer County faced a 4th and 12 deep in Mercer County territory. Converted, went on for a touchdown to kind of set the tone for that game. DeSales, a 49-7 win last week in the first round of the playoff. Trips to the right for the Centurions. Sabatino's going to roll that way. Looking. Now he comes back up, avoids one defender coming to the left side. Got some room, looking to throw. He's going to throw long. He's got Kevin King. If he can get a complete pass.
What a
down
catch.
To the 23-yard line.
What a great catch by Kevin King.
He had snuck behind everybody.
I like that play call on 3rd down. A rollout, trips to the right. Good play call there. And excellent footwork by the quarterback. We're
going to have a flag down. We did not talk about it before the game, but the Centurions have had, quite frankly, some very bad penalties against them over the last few games. And the first one looked like it's going to come out tonight. After that catch, they're going to get called for excessive celebration, unsportsmanlike conduct. So a first down stays at the 23, but it's going to move it a long way back. And against a team like DeSales, you can't afford to do that.
Absolutely not. The playoff atmosphere, having those type of penalties there, you just want to alleviate those as much as possible.
What a great scramble job by Sabatino, though, to be able to get loose and get open and able to keep the ball alive and then get that pass down to King.
Absolutely.
So 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line of DeSales now. It was at the 23. Guerin and Leaper split to the right. We got the Babin boys in the backfield. It's a play action. Sabatino looking. Fires. He's got a man wide open. Going to be completed on the sideline. It is going to be Luke Leaper going down. Has the first down and much, much more down to the 9-yard line.
Yeah, Coach Kenwell seems to be calling a lot of play action early with them having 7 in the box. Trying to stop the run first and getting those linebackers upfield and biting on those fakes seems to keep those receivers wide open, especially in the short side of the field.
1st and goal from the 9 for the Centurions. 9:47 to go here in the first quarter. Centurions on their opening drive of the game. Mike Botello, Draper Hall with the action for you tonight. Guerin goes to the right, Leaper far side to the left. It's the double backfield again. Handoff to Brant Babin. And we're going to have a flag illegal procedure on the Centurions. So 2nd penalty of the night, both against the Centurions. And that'll bring it back to the 14, make it 1st and goal from the 14.
Yes. So far with all the momentum, it seems like the penalties early on are the only thing that's keeping Cal out of the end zone.
So let's see if they can overcome it on this first drive. As we said, Centurions down 21-0 in that first game against DeSales. It'll be nice to get on top here for the first time this year against the Colts. Babin brothers in the backfield again. Guerin to the right, Leaper to the left. They were looking at a blitz, no call. Nobody went off sides. Hand off to Babin. He's going to stutter step his way. He's going to go nowhere, though.
Yeah, DeSales definitely is looking for the run tonight. I guess they looked at some of the statistics in the first round of the playoffs and know that Cal's going to come out with a strong running attack that's very balanced with both the great running backs that we have this season.
Alexander Greats, one of that big front defensive line with the tackle. Not a whole lot of room up the middle against this team. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 14 for the Centurions. Leaper right, Kevin King into the game. He splits far out to the left with Guerin in the slot. Sabatino in that shotgun. Guerin goes in motion. Sabatino starts to run left, throws back to the right side to Leaper. Nice block out there by Big John Young, and Leaper's in. He stepped out. Looks like he may have had a touchdown, but the official said he stepped out at the 7-yard line. I thought he had tiptoed around everybody, but couldn't quite get through.
Yes, I like that play call on 2nd down. You get the linebackers fight, biting on the fake. Play action, roll out to the quarterback backside screen. Good play call.
It'll be 3rd and goal for the Centurions. Ball is at the 7. Now there is a penalty. An illegal chip against the Centurions, so another penalty against the Centurions. And that's going to bring it back again. It'll stay 2nd down, but comes back to the 19-yard line.
Yeah,
so it is 2nd and goal from the 19 now. This is the 3rd penalty in this drive against the Centurions. They break the huddle. King and Guerin to the left. Leaper to the short side on the right. Leaper moves in a little bit. Hand off to Babin. A little bigger hole this time, but not much. He's going to pick up about 2 yards on the play. And it'll bring up a 3rd and goal from the 17 is where they're going to mark it.
Yeah, play call like that on 2nd down. The hope is on 3rd down you kind of loosen up the defense for some type of play action or rollout pass. And we'll see what we do here on 3rd down. 3rd and a long 18.
You're trying to figure out, is this 2-down territory? You get a little bit closer so Dylan Cornett can try for a field goal. Sabatino's going to be under center. Harrison Zimmer in the backfield. Sabatino rolls left. Scott there to meet him. He gets the ball away, completes the punt. It's in the air and falls incomplete. Leaper looking for a penalty, but no call. He was in a tussle, it looked like, with DeMarcus Avery for that, and it falls incomplete.
As Sabatino had a man in his face there, and he continues to make some really good plays with his eyes downfield and his footwork as he's looking for receivers despite the defenders in his face.
Dylan Cornett in for a field goal, 1 for 3 on the season. This will be a 35-yarder. Masters to hold. Ball is down, kick is up, and kick is blocked. And DeSales holds and will take over at their 20-yard line.
And here again, Mike, those 3 penalties on that first drive really hurt the Centurions on that drive. So see how the defense comes out and prepare for this first series for DeSales.
DeSales will take over at their own 20. And you're right, the penalties we talked about, you and I talked about before the game, no turnovers and lack of penalties, and no turnover on that, but boy, we saw some major penalties on that, with that excessive celebration being the worst one.
Absolutely.
Well, let's see who's at quarterback here. It is Scroggins, and he's got James Johnson behind him. And he's going to hand off to Johnson on the first play. And the Centurions are going to bottle him up, and that runner's going nowhere, and it's going to be back to the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, I love that defense in front of the Centurions. Number 74, Mike Mawsey, really stands out there.
So it's going to be 2nd and 10, 7 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Scroggins in the shotgun. He has Hollenkamp to his left. Johnson is the deep back. It's going to be a handoff to Johnson again, trying to follow. He gets loose on the outside to the left. He's got the first down. Finally brought down, looked like Nate Dobbs or Kevin King over there. And Johnson gets about 16 yards on that play in the first down. Darren Hollenkamp hurt in the game against the Centurions, and then he is not. I was looking at the DeSales games. He's not been back at running back since that game, but he's been playing his linebacker position, but he was back on that play. Will probably be there all night tonight. Scroggins in the shotgun. He has trips to the right, one receiver to the left. And there's going to be illegal procedure, I believe, or offsides on the Centurions. So the Centurions with yet another penalty.
Yeah, in a big-time game like this, in a hostile atmosphere, we can't have those type penalties on both sides of the ball. So we'll continue to watch for those mistakes to be cleaned up as the game continues.
1st and 5 for DeSales. Play action. Scroggins rolling to the right, looking. He's going to throw long. Could be intercepted. It is by Guerin. His 6th interception of the year. We got a flag down, but I got to think it's an offensive hold that'll be declined. And Scroggins, who had 3 interceptions against Meade County, woefully underthrew that one. Coach Cantwell out there before he gives the signal saying decline.
Yes.
Decline. So interception, Centurions are going to take over.
Yeah. Good job on the defense making up for that penalty the previous play to get a turnover and now get the offense back out on the field.
So we got 5:54 to go here in the first quarter. Centurions are going to take over on their own 31-yard line. That was Gage Guerin. That is his 6th interception of the season. And that ball was underthrown by 5 or 6 yards.
It was.
So 1st and 10, double backfield for the Centurions. It is Babin, and I can't see who the other one is. I'm not sure it's Zimmer or the other Babin. It is both Babins, but it doesn't matter. Sabatino going to throw. He's throwing long. He's got Leaper out there. That should be pass interference.
Absolutely.
Official couldn't find his flag, and now it comes out. I saw the official going for his flag. He couldn't grab it.
Couldn't find it.
So there's the first penalty of the night against DeSales, and that's going to be a major one.
Yeah. Again, I really just like how the play action is working here against this defense and them stacking the box. It's opening up the middle of the field, and unfortunately a lot of one-on-one coverage with the Cal receivers.
Well, and I tell you, the most impressive thing is we've seen Sabatino go deep quite a lot already. And that offensive line, his scrambling, but also the offensive line doing a good job against that stout defensive line of DeSales.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be 1st and 10, ball at the 46 of the Centurions now after the pass interference. That's when you wish it was like the pros. You could go where the pass interference occurred.
The spot foul.
Leaper in the slot to the right. Guerin split out. Deep to the right. Babin brothers in the backfield. Brant Babin gets it. He's got a hole on the right side. He's across the 50. Goes outside, fumbles, and it's going to be recovered by DeSales. Centurions with a couple fumbles in the first game against DeSales, and now they have their first turnover of the game to give it back to the Colts, and it'll be at their own 43-yard line.
Yeah, great run by Babin to the outside. The defender, the linebacker for DeSales, did a delayed blitz there, which opened up that hole, and just got to take care of the football.
With 5:34 to go in the first quarter, DeSales will take over on the turnover. Personal foul against DeSales. Must have been after.
I believe it was after the play.
After the play. It's going to be DeSales' ball, but that's going to be nice, as that's going to move the ball all the way back to in the 20s, probably about the 27. So now DeSales with the last 2 penalties. We've seen 6 penalties in this game already.
I know. Unfortunately, the game has definitely been highlighted by turnovers and penalties early on.
So when you're nervous before a big game, you've played in Memphis, nervous for a big game like that, does the adrenaline just take over and you get too excited and then cause some penalties on the way?
It does. Definitely the adrenaline is going, and you just want to go out there and just play freely, and sometimes that ends up with some mistakes.
Scroggins under center, hands off to Johnson, goes up the middle. Now he pops it outside, and he's going to get out to about the 33-yard line. Brought down Jake Taylor on the tackle, along with Henry Fetter. Johnson does a good job of going up and seeing things are kind of squashed up and just pops the ball outside. He's done it a couple times.
He does. He saw the right side open up, and he took it. Just glad the Centurion defenders were there to stop any additional yardage after that initial burst.
2nd and 4 for the Colts. Scroggins back in that shotgun now with Hollenkamp and Johnson in the backfield. Dimitri Scott, the big tight end, goes from the right to the left side. Hand off to Johnson again, and he's going to get slowed down and tackled down on that play after a gain of about a yard. It'll be 3rd and 3 for the Colts.
Early on, I like how the Cal D-line has done a really great job of controlling that line of scrimmage and just really getting upfield and closing all of those running lanes. On the previous play, you see the running back having to bounce outside there. That's due to that great pressure by that strong defensive line.
We have no score with 4:20 to go here in the first quarter. It's been a game of many penalties and 2 turnovers, one by each team already. Avery splits to the right, Antoine Johnson to the left. Hollenkamp and James Johnson in the backfield. James Johnson gets it. He gets slowed down in the backfield. He's not going to make it to the first down marker, and they're going to mark it at the 35. It's going to be 4th and 2.
What a great play, again, by number 74, Mike Mozzie. Got up the field, and he's been a good run stopper for this team late in the season.
That's going to bring in the punting unit, so the Cal defense holds. Luke Leeper is back for the Centurions. Blake Gibbons, who does the kicking duties, also the punter for this team. Both kickers are number 89 tonight.
Wow.
Clean hike. Ball's in the air. It's a nice punt. Leeper's going to be able to field it and run. He catches it at the 31-yard line. Gets outside. He's across the 40. Stutter steps, gets out to about the 43, 44. Good field position for the Centurions.
This is certainly shaping up to be a game of yardage here. So every yard just counts, so I like the way he fought for those last 2 yards. Looks like he was going to go out of bounds there for a while, but he decided to go and get those extra yardage.
Centurions get their best field position of the night, taking over on their own 45-yard line. Been able to move the ball, but the penalties and turnovers have kind of hurt the Centurions tonight. Guerin splits out to the right, Leeper in the slot to the right. Babin and Zimmer in the backfield. And Zimmer's going to get it. He's going to put his head down, but he's going to go nowhere. He gets back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10. So 35-28 first game, and we're looking at a 0-0 game right now.
Yeah, typical of a playoff game. Teams are prepared and ready for a battle.
Guerin to the left, Leeper to the right. Play action. Sabatino fires it out to Leeper, but it's going to be out of his reach. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Looks like DeSalle is quickly trying to adjust to the play action on those slot receivers. They're having some double coverage and some additional guys outside of the box.
So 3rd and 10, the crowd starts to get a little more excited. Stands are only on one side here. I am surprised we are not sold out at this game. There's some empty bleachers, kind of shocked at that. So if you're not doing anything tonight, come on out to the game. 3rd and 10, Sabatino. Back to pass, looking. Had a man, but throws it, gets Parr up the middle. Parr with a nice catch hanging on to it. Or Gage Guerin with the catch. He did not have enough for the first down, make it a 6-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 4, and in comes the punting unit for the Centurions. So this could be a game of field position tonight.
Yes, certainly shaping up to be just that.
Sabatino is the punter. Back for DeSales is number 4, Antoine Johnson. He sets up about the 19. Sabatino at his own 40. Here comes the rush. Sabatino, a nice kick, is going to hit about the 18 and roll out about the 15 or 16. So good punt by Sabatino.
Looks like we have a flag on the play here.
So we have a flag at the 48-yard line, just past the line of scrimmage. Let's see what it is. Officials are moving the players away. Having a big discussion here.
Another penalty, Mike. Continue to dominate this game early on.
And this could be, it'll be major either way. Centurions are going to probably have to repunt, or it could be a first down, or they're going to pick the flag up. Right now, we still don't have an. We got illegal procedure against the Centurions declined. Face mask against the Centurions, and they're going to take that. So another major penalty against the Centurions. Hurts them. I want to get out of this first half, and Coach Campbell will settle them down at halftime.
Yes.
That is going to be taken, I believe, from the spot of the ball as opposed to making the Centurions re-kick. So what was going to be the 15 will now move the ball all the way up to the 30. So DeSales with decent field position now. It is their best field position of the night on the start of a drive. This is their third drive of the evening. They've ended in an interception and a punt. Centurions have ended in a missed field goal, a fumble, and a punt.
Yeah, and based on this offensive formation, it looks like DeSales is recognizing this is game of field position, and they look like they may be trying to air it out here a little bit.
An empty backfield with two receivers to the right and three trips to the left. Jaden Scroggins. DeSales not known as a passing team, but not bad stats in the last game. 7 of 13 for 103 yards, and he's definitely back to pass. Going to go across the middle, and he has Antoine Johnson open in the gap. Gets across midfield down to the 42-yard line. So DeSales is in Centurion territory for the first night, all the way down to the 42. Trips to the right, two receivers to the left again. James Johnson and Scott are split out to the left. Antoine Johnson, DeMarcus Avery, and Jason Higdon out to the right. Now they switch up. I'm not sure. We got to be close to delay a game. It's going to be a handoff this time. James Johnson trying to get outside. He's going nowhere. In fact, he's going to be thrown for a loss. They're going to get a great spot, at least a yard up from where I thought he'd be, but back to the 44-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 12.
Yeah, there on first down, they figure, hey, we'll try to get a run up the field and just see how that bowls.
Make it 2nd and 12 for the Colts. Split out to the left side is DeMarcus Avery, and he looks like he's a yard of hair ahead of where the ball, the official moves him back. Scroggins with James Johnson in the backfield. Back to pass is Scroggins. He's looking across the middle, nowhere to go. Johnson releases late. He's going to get out of bounds, knocked out of bounds by Braden Babin at about the 33-yard line.
Yeah, Johnson was initially set up there in the trips, and they brought him in and as sort of a decoy blocker and just trying to let him get in some open space there on the passing down.
3rd and 1 for DeSales. Johnson in the backfield. Back to pass to Scroggins, though. He's looking. He's got some room to run. He's trying to try, and he's got the first down, finally brought down by Mozzie from behind, but he gets across the 30 to the 28.
Good decisions there by Scroggins. The Cal defense was pretty locked in on the receivers. Left him with no other choice but to try to scramble.
And that's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter of play. We are 0-0 DeSales with the ball.
Christian Academy wishes to thank our athletic trainer from Court, the best in the rehab, for being the official sports medicine and rehabilitation provider for the Centurions. Would also like to recognize Dr. Shaper with Ellis and Bottenhausen for volunteering his time this season. Court has several convenient locations throughout Louisville, Lexington, and southern Indiana, and offers the best in physical and occupational therapy, as well as sports medicine coverage to local high schools, colleges, and community organizations. Visit Courts on the web at www.kort.com. Court, the best in rehab.
And what a great job they do for us. We appreciate all Kate Meyer and the rest of the Court staff does to take care of the Centurions. And right now we got to concentrate on football and cut the penalties out, and DeSales with their best drive of the evening so far.
Yes.
So Jaden Scroggins has thrown some interceptions this year. I'm trying to find my notes here to go back on his. Jaden Scroggins, he is 31 for 72 for the year, 464 yards. He's thrown 8 TD passes, but has thrown 6 and now 7 interceptions. So we are beginning the second quarter now. 1st and 10 for DeSales at the Centurion 28. We are deadlocked at 0. Empty backfield again for Scroggins. Trips to the right, 2 to the left. He fires out to the right. Going to be out to DeMarcus Avery and be tackled quickly there by Brant Babin.
What great pressure by the Cal linebackers there. Force Scroggins to have to make a decision pretty early and get rid of the football. So nice play there by the defense.
Make it a 3-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 7 from the 25. DeSales going with this empty backfield almost this entire drive when they did have Johnson in the backfield. That's who they threw to coming out of the backfield. Looks like a blitz. They fake the blitz. Scroggins back to pass. No pressure. He's going to throw long. He's got a man back there. Is he out of bounds?
Yes, he is.
Out of bounds. Going deep out there for DeMarcus Avery. Oh, it was Antoine Johnson. That's who they were going for. Sutherland following him, and the throw was about a yard out of bounds. Distance was right, just direction was a little off.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to bring up a 3rd and 7 for DeSales.
Yeah, Cal has changed up the defensive front and put in some speed rushes here on 3rd down to try to get some more pressure there on Scroggins.
Empty backfield again for DeSales. Scroggins, here comes some pressure. Babin chasing him, trying to go outside. Caught from behind, thrown for a loss.
Great play.
Braden Babin, the first man in there, came all the way in. And he's going to throw him for a 3-yard loss, and it's going to be 4th and 10 for DeSales.
Yeah, what a great design by the defensive coordinator there, bringing in the speed guys on 3rd down, and they were able to get through that blocking scheme there for DeSales and put some pressure there on Scroggins, forcing him to have to use his feet and not his arm and make plays.
Okay, Draper, you're head coach for DeSales, man. You going for it here on 4th and 10?
Yeah, in a game of field position like this, they've been sort of lucky on a few of those passes. I think I would stay in that shotgun formation, maybe have a blocker for extra protection and just see what I could do. So if I'm the coach there, I definitely go for it in a game like this.
Key play of the game, DeSales calls their first timeout. Centurion's defense has done a great job on this possession. A big pass got DeSales down here. And so we will see. And this has been, on this series, they have thrown 4 passes. Got sacked on another one. So 5 passes and 2 runs have got them down here. Not what you expect from a DeSales team.
Absolutely not.
So a big play for both teams here. 4th and 10 for the Colts.
Yeah, and it looks like, Mike, they're going to go for it. I absolutely agree with this call.
Yeah, you're too close to punt, too far out to do a field goal. Trips to the right again, 2 receivers to the left. 10:47 to go second quarter. We are deadlocked at 0. Scroggins back to pass. He's just going to put it up in the air. There's the pass. It's going to be complete for a touchdown. A great catch going to Dimitri Scott. He threw it right over the defender. And a 28-yard touchdown pass to Scott puts DeSales on the board first.
Yes, and what a throw by Scroggins. He put the ball exactly where his player had the best opportunity running that type of route there, Dimitri Scott, toward the outside boundary of the end zone.
Givens in for the extra point. We saw that play last time we played them. He went to Scott on that right side a number of times. He's just such a big and fast target. Kick is up, kick is good by Givens, and DeSales takes the lead 7-0 with 10:40 to go here in the second quarter.
Yeah, it looks like DeSales has come out and decided that they're going to pass the ball, kind of loosen up the defense there, because Cal has definitely been successful early on in stopping the run.
That was a 70-yard drive that covered 3 minutes and 2 seconds, 8 plays, ending in that 28-yard pass from Scroggins to Dimitri Scott. So Centurion's been able to move the ball. It's just been penalties that have kept them at bay. You cut the penalties out, and Centurions are right in this game. So but that's a big key of the game.
Yes, if I'm Coach Cantwell, I will be talking to my offensive linemen and the offensive team, letting them know how critical it is to go out and really execute on this drive with no penalties.
So it was a short little pop-up kick last time. Dobbs and Brant Babin are in the game now, setting up at the 30. Guerin and Leeper are deep. Now Givens approaches the ball. I cannot think he's going to go deep, and this time he's going to go a little farther than usual, but at the 30, coming up to get it is Guerin. Does a hesitation, now gets outside, and he's going to be knocked out of bounds after a great return to about the 46-yard line. So a good field position for the Centurions again.
Yeah, you know, Mike, I'm a little surprised. That seemed like a design short kick there to their sideline. And considering the field position that we've been battling with all game, I'm a little bit surprised by the design short kick there.
I think they're scared of Guerin and Leeper. They've seen them return, but they've kicked it short where Guerin can come up and get it and do his thing that he does on kickoff returns. Centurion 46-yard line. That's where they'll start with 10:32 to go here in the second quarter. It is Zimmer, the lone back. In motion goes Leeper. Hand off to Zimmer. He's got a little bit of a hole. Boy, it is shut down quickly, though. The safety came flying in to tackle him. It was Alexander Liebert, the freshman, came in, and Zimmer gets a yard on the play. I thought Zimmer was going to have about 5 yards on that. All of a sudden, his orange jersey came flying in.
Yeah, they had a middle linebacker there. Looked like he was going to be in coverage, but he was sort of spying the quarterback in that type of formation and just came up and made a really nice tackle.
Make it 2nd and 9 for the Centurions, a 1-yard gain. Guerin and King come to the right side. Leeper to the short side on the left. Leeper in motion. Play action. Sabatino chased out of the pocket. Avoids another tackler. Stays up, but they're going to get him from behind and sack him.
Yeah, Sabatino did a good job evading those first two tackles, but it's really difficult to avoid a second and third one again.
Mekhi Lewis, who was the first guy he avoided, then able to come around and finally get the sack, and that's going to make it 3rd and 16 for the Centurions. Ball's at the 40. Sabatino getting the play from Coach Cantwell. Centurions got 5 seconds to get the play off, I think.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to hurry up. Good timeout by Coach Cantwell.
Yes, Coach Cantwell called the timeout. He saw that back judge with the hand up showing there was not much time left, and he's going to have to take that timeout with 8:56 to go here in the second quarter. 7-0 DeSales.
Are you looking for a convenient way to pick up a healthy, delicious meal on your way home from work? Try a take-home dinner for 4 from Taziki's Mediterranean Cafe that your family is sure to enjoy. You can choose from a grilled chicken breast, a whole baked chicken, an herb roasted pork loin, or grilled lamb. The meals come with a Greek salad and your choice of a side of potatoes or rice. All recipes at Tzatziki's are made daily and inspired by Mediterranean cuisine. Visit Tzatziki's restaurants in Middletown and St. Matthews. To learn more about Tzatziki's, visit Tzatziki'sCafe.com.
I've been there quite a few times. I love that place.
Yeah, my family and I go to the Middletown location pretty often ourselves.
We are back to action here. It is 3rd and long. Make it 16 for the Centurions. Make it an empty backfield for Sabatino. Sabatino's going to roll to the right. He's looking. He's throwing long. He's got Guerin complete for the first down and more down to the 26 of the Centurions.
Absolutely love that call on 3rd and 16. Mike, they had trips to the right. What they did was the inside slot receiver did a simple little motion and come in and act as an extra blocker. And most defenses would assume that you're going to go to the trip sides, and they actually went backside for a nice first down completion.
All the way down to the 26-yard line. A 34-yard completion to Gage Guerin from Sabatino. And Centurions in action again into Sales territory.
A much-needed first down.
Guerin and Leeper split to the left side this time. Zimmer, the lone back. Andrew Dupes in the game. 2 tight ends on the right side. Leeper in motion. A pitch to Zimmer. Tries to find a hole. He's got nowhere to go. He's going to get back to maybe the line of scrimmage. Man, DeSale's speed is just cutting down the run.
Yeah, they are. They've done a nice job on this drive, getting up the field, and their linebackers filling those gaps. And I keep watching that safety back there for DeSales. Whatever side the motion's on, he tends to be cheating on that side. So might be a nice play call here on 2nd down for some sort of counter or some type of backside screen here for Cal.
It'll be 2nd and 10 for Cal from the 26-yard line. I keep looking at the scoreboard to get information, and they have it on the 36. Either the yard line is wrong or sometimes the yardage to go is wrong, but we know it's on the 26. Babin and Zimmer in the backfield, and Zimmer's going to get it. He's going to try to get some yardage, but the running is hard. He's going to get maybe 2 yards that time.
And what a tough 2 yards. Zimmer is putting his helmet down and is getting the shoulder pads low and really just running straight up that hole there. The thing I do like about the end of that run that I saw is he's doing a great job of protecting the football.
They're going to mark it at the 28-yard line, make it a 3-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 7 for the Centurions. The winner of this game goes on to the next round of the state tournament. The loser goes home. And we're going to have a timeout by the Centurions, I believe, with 6:52 to go here in the second quarter. It is 7-0 DeSales with the lead.
E-News is Cal's online newsletter that allows fans, parents, and supporters of Cal Athletics to keep you up with the latest news in Cal sports. E-News is distributed weekly and includes sports from elementary, middle, and high school from all of Cal's Kentucky campuses. For questions, please feel free to contact us at enews@chschools.us. To subscribe, visit our website at chschools.us/Centurions-athletics.
Holly Foster puts that together. What a great job she does. All the teams send her the information, then she gets to edit it all and put it together. And if you want to know anything about Centurion Athletics during the week, I highly recommend that be a member of the E-News and get that.
Absolutely. The E-News has been great. I know after our games during the Pee Wee season, a lot of the players were looking forward to the E-News.
Probably even had your name in there a few times on a great coaching job you did.
Well, thank you, Mike.
It is 3rd and 7. Centurions keep having these major 3rd downs, it seems like, and they've been answering the call on a lot of them. Zimmer goes in motion. Sabatino fakes the pass to him. He's going to keep it. He gets knocked, but he stays up. He's going to the sideline. He buries his head.
Looks
He's
like
going
a
to be
first
close
down.
to the
Looks
first
very
down.
close.
Depends where they mark it. It's going to be either a first down or 4th and inches. It's on the far side of the field. It's going to be 4th down. It's going to be 4th and a little more than inches. It's going to be about 4th and a yard, it looks like.
Good job by Sabatino there, keeping his legs moving. Initially looked like it was going to be a play for no gain, but he kept his legs moving, and he was managed to get closer to that first down yardstick.
So first 4th down, Centurions are going for it on tonight. They got King and Guerin to the left, Leaper to the right. Zimmer in the backfield, Sabatino goes under center. Last week we saw a hard count and saw Mercer County go offsides quite a number of times, but Sabatino's going to keep it, gives it a second effort. Did he get it? Centurions are saying he did. And it's going to be close. And are they going to measure, or are they?
Yeah, they hadn't made a call as of yet.
It looks like they're moving the chains. It's a first down.
Hey.
There was no signal that it was a first down.
All the refs were kind of looking at one another, and glad to see that they're moving the yardsticks.
So it's first and down for the Centurions from the 16 now. That was a hard yard fought by Sabatino.
It was.
5:26 to go here and counting in the first half. Centurions trying to get on the board to even this game.
Seems like DeSales has changed up their defense a little bit. No safety over the middle of the field, so that tends to be wide open right now in this current defensive front.
Play action. Sabatino rolling right. He's going across the middle. That's got to be interference. It is. It was intercepted in the end zone, but Antoine Johnson just went right over the back of who was he going for out there? I believe it was Will Parr.
Yes.
And he just came slamming into him from the backside.
Yeah, as I mentioned before the play, great recognition there by Sabatino with they're playing 2 safeties, playing half the field with no single safety in the middle. That center of the field seemed to be wide open, and he took advantage of it.
Oh, we got the Sells players clapping. And once again, we see no call. Yep, here comes the call. We got pass interference against DeSales. So it'll be, ball will be moved up to the 8-yard line, and that'll be a first down. So it's going to be first and goal from the 8, and penalties again play a major part in the drive.
Absolutely. Looks like number 74, Mike Mozzie, reporting into the game. So it looks like Cal is going to go with a heavy package here on this.
It's first and 2, not first and goal. It's first and 2.
First and 2 yards.
It was half the distance of the goal, so they got up there. A double backfield with Braden Babin and Zimmer. Zimmer's going to get it. He powers his way up. He's going to have the first down, I believe. He is still up. Bodies are still mangling each other, and finally Zimmer goes down, and he's going to have the first down.
Good push by the front line. And that heavy set seems to get a good push up the middle of the field.
Got the ball to the 5. It'll be first and goal from the 5 for the Centurions. Man, every yard running for the Centurions is just a war down there.
They've definitely earned every yard. Be interested to see what the final stats are, because they are certainly taking advantage of every attempt.
All right, now Centurions have had the ball for 6 minutes plus on this drive. Leaper and Guerin split to the left side. Now Leaper goes in motion. It's going to be a pitch to Zimmer. He flies through on the right side. He's going to get down to the 2 or 3 yard line. Number of orange jerseys at the bottom there. I think they're going to mark it at the 2, it looks like. So that'll make it second and goal from, I believe it's on the 2.
Yeah, it looks like the ball's right there on the 2 yard line.
So a good 3 yard run by Zimmer there to put the Centurions in position on this second down.
Yeah, with this long drive, I'm seeing a lot of the sales players with their hands on their hips.
Grant Babin in at fullback. Zimmer still the halfback. He gets the ball, puts his head down, powers his way down to maybe the 1 or the half-yard line. He's close again. And it's going to be third down for the Centurions.
Yeah, let's see if they go back to this heavy package and bring in an extra blocker, or they keep it safe with their basic offense and run the ball.
I'm telling you, the nose of the ball can't be more than 6 inches from the goal line.
Yeah.
So you got to think it's going to be a Sabatino keeper right here.
I would agree. That would be my call. Get up to the line, snap the ball quick, and just get the nose of the football over the white chalk.
Sabatino keeps, and he falls back into the end zone. Touchdown, Centurions.
What a great drive. Great drive by the Centurions. Long, sustaining drive. It looks like with the number of plays in that drive, it really wore down that DeSales defense.
That was just under an 8-minute drive for the Centurions. Dylan Cornett in for the extra point, and these are all important, obviously. Tries to tie the game up with this kick. Ball's down, kick is up, kick is good. And we are all tied at 7 with 2:38 to go here in the first half.
We have ourselves a ball game here.
That was a 12-play drive that took just under 8 minutes, covering 54 yards, a 1-yard run by Sabatino. There was, amazingly, one pass play. They tried two, got sacked on one, and the one big pass to Gage Guerin that got the first down. Everything else was a run on that drive.
Yeah, it just seems like both offenses are doing the opposite. DeSales has come out and decide to pass the ball, and Cal's decide to just run it down the field.
That's right. We got a Cal team that averages 206 yards a game in the air. We got a DeSales team averages 215 on the ground, and they have just split personalities.
It's always a thing about the playoffs. It's a chess match between the two coaches, and anything to get the offense or defense off kilter there, they'll definitely make those changes there.
2:38 to go first half. We are deadlocked at 7 as Dylan Cornett prepares to kick off. DeSales will receive the second half kick. Back for DeSales is Lance Wider along with Antoine Johnson. Cornett approaches the ball. Kick is in the air. It's going to be taken by Wider at the 10. He's going to run up the middle, and he's going to be brought down by, who was that? Andrew Dupes on the tackle. Good return by Wider out to the 34. That's where DeSales will take over.
Good tackle there by Dupes, because if he would have gotten through that, I don't know. Seemed to be no other tacklers there in his way.
So let's see if DeSales is going to go back to their usual running package or go back with that open backfield to keep flinging it in the air.
I would have to think they're going to stay with the open backfield. They've had a lot of success with it, and we're getting close to the 2-minute mark, so it's almost like the 2-minute drill they've been running for the entire second half. A lot of hurry-up offense is what I would anticipate, especially with 5 wides.
And correct you are, Scroggins back to pass, getting a lot of time. He's going to air it out. It's coming out there. Antoine Johnson, what a great passing catch. Right over the outstretched arms of Sutherland, and Johnson with just a great catch over the shoulder down to the 32 of the Centurions.
Yeah, the Centurions were actually in a good defense for that offensive set, but the key when you're in that man-to-man with spread and 5 wides, you got to get good pressure up the field with your defensive lineman. Can't allow Scroggins to sit in the pocket there. He's too good of a passer, and he'll complete those passes. 1st
and 10 from the Centurion, 32. 2 minutes to go here in the first half, and we're going to have a timeout by the Centurions. Coach Riley going to have a talk with his defense.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see here. I know they typically switch personnel in these sort of situations, go to a more quicker D-line front. So we'll see what they come back out with here in this drive.
Scroggins had been getting a lot of time with no other blockers back there, so they can send 5 out.
Yep.
So we have 2:02 to go. It is 7-7. DeSales scored the last time they had the ball. It was a 28-yard touchdown pass to Dimitri Scott from Scroggins. Centurions with nearly an 8-minute drive when they took the next kickoff. It traveled 54 yards, ending in a 1-yard sneak by Anthony Sabatino. And we are all tied at 7 here with just over 2 minutes, 2:02 to go here in the first half. Mike Botello, Draper Hall, bringing you tonight's action from DeSales High School. Centurions have never lost at this field that was built. I believe we've played here 3 times since it has been in existence.
Wow, we'll look to continue to keep that streak alive.
That would be nice.
Here on tonight.
So it is 1st and 10 for DeSales. They're going to stay with the open backfield.
Yeah, based on the nuance of the game, this drive is definitely critical for us to stop DeSales.
DeMarcus Avery has come in at quarterback for Scroggins. Avery, who was the starting quarterback beginning of the year, he's going to throw it. He throws it across the middle Going to be incomplete off the outstretched arm of. And we got a flag out there. I don't know what it is. There's no pass interference. Looked like he was going, I believe that was Jake Meeks he was going for out there, or Antoine Johnson.
I didn't see it. I wonder if there's something that happened after the play. What a gutsy call by DeSales, putting in a different quarterback there and just trying to throw a strike down the middle of the field.
They're going to have a personal foul against the Centurions for something. The ball was tipped by the receiver, the defender for the Centurions. Hit him just as he touched the ball, but it looked like he was just going for the ball, making a defensive play. But another penalty it is.
You know, Mike, I got to wonder, because I didn't see any contact after the ball. I wonder if they called him on some sort of taunting or something after the play.
I don't know, but it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 17 now. Another penalty strikes up and hits the Centurions. Scroggins back in at quarterback. Scott split out far to the right. Watch for that play on the right side where he just puts it up for grabs. He's going across the middle, wide open, but missing out there. He was going for Zane Wilkerson, but threw it behind him, and he was wide open in that gap.
Yeah, the middle field and that defensive front is open, where you have your two safeties playing half the field. So it'll be interesting to see if they change up the defense here as they look for 2nd and 10.
Clock is stopped. You got to get some pressure on Scroggins.
You have to. And Cal has switched to a smaller defensive line to try to get some additional pressure up the field on Scroggins. But Cal's back in the same defense in the middle of the field, unless they have a safety cheat over the middle, seems to be open.
Trips to the right. Scroggins' time goes in the middle again. Going to be complete. Dimitri Scott's going to go in for it. Oh, he fumbled it in the end zone. I think he'd been across the line already. And it's going to be a touchdown for DeSales, a 17-yard touchdown pass to Scott from Scroggins.
Yeah, when you're not able to get pressure on Scroggins and give him that kind of time, he tends to find the open receiver there.
So a quick strike offense this time for DeSales. Givens in for the extra point. Ball's down. Kick is up and kick is good. So DeSales with 1:40 to go in the first half goes up 14-7.
Yeah, with 1minute and 40 seconds left here in the half, you got to believe that Cal's going to go to their 2-minute offense and try to see if they can complete some passes down the field. And it's going to be critical for the linemen to really get some good protection there for Sabatino.
That was a 3-play, 66-yard drive in 51 seconds for DeSales. And I never thought I'd see a day where DeSales passed the ball this much and as accurately as they are.
I know. Seems like their coaching staff has identified some gaps in the back end of the Cal defense there. So I definitely anticipate some adjustments being made during halftime.
Well, we have seen Coach Cantwell and his staff make great adjustments at halftime.
Yeah, and that's definitely been a strength of theirs all season.
And we've seen 2 short pop-up kicks from Givens. It would not surprise me to see an onside kick right now from DeSales just trying to pull him, but then it would give Cal good field position. So we'll see what happens. He is kicked to about the 30-yard line each time.
Mm-hmm.
We got Nate Dobbs and Babin set up there. Guerin has been able to run up and catch the ball each time for now. And this is going to be a little higher pop-up. Guerin's going to take this at the 28. And ball's in the air, fumble, but boy, Centurions with a break. It went up in the air and right to the hands of Sutherland, who was able to grab it. Boy, that would have been devastating for the Centurions, but Sutherland, the man on the spot, and the Centurions will take over with 1:35 to go here in the first half.
Outstanding ball awareness by Southern. The ball took a nice pop in the air, and Sutherland had his eyes on the ball, and great recovery there.
Centurions have no timeouts. DeSales has 2 here. Guerin and King to the right, Leaper to the left. Sabatino in the shotgun.
Yeah, the middle of the field seems to be open for Cal as well. If we just can hit a receiver and have
Here
good
comes
protection.
Pressure, and the ball's on the ground, and it may be recovered. I don't think it's going to be an incomplete. Oh, they're going to say it is a fumble. Sabatino was hit as he started to throw the ball from behind, but he had not started his arm forward, and it's going to be a fumble, and DeSales is going to take over at the 35.
Yeah, it looks like his arm was just in motion to be going forward, and defender got a hand on it and knocked the ball loose.
So now the Centurions defense has got to hold. You don't want to let DeSales have another opportunity for a touchdown here. But I think we can see a pass to Dimitri Scott coming somewhere in this play. 1:26 to go in the first half. Centurions would be great to get their second pick of the night.
Yeah, they definitely would need to drop their linebacker in the middle of the field. That would be a nice adjustment here against this twins on both sides of the ball set, which they do.
Scott goes in motion again, plenty of time, rolls, gets the banner. Oh, almost intercepted. Kevin King there got his hands on it, thought he had it, but it falls harmlessly to the ground. Incomplete pass.
Kevin King was in great position to make a play. Just glad he was able to at least knock it down and cause an incompletion. I really like the adjustment that Cal has made with their middle linebacker there, sort of dropping him back in coverage, alleviating that open field. And as you can see, Scroggins recognized that it didn't have quite the throwing window that he's had on the previous drives.
Make it 2nd and 10, trips to the right, 2 receivers to the left again. Centurions having a hard time getting pressure on Scroggins. Scott goes in motion. Scroggins looking. He's just going to loft it in the air again. Going deep. Overthrows his man. Going for DeMarcus Avery down the right sideline. And that is incomplete. It'll bring up a 3rd and 10 for DeSales.
Yeah, I like the stunts I'm seeing there with the Cal D-line. That's definitely allowing them to try to get as much pressure up the field, especially from the outside. I think they've kind of gone away as the game is going on from getting pressure up the middle, making Scroggins have to make a determination on which side he wants to go and throw the ball. Because every time he's had an opportunity to stand in the middle of the field in the pocket, he's completed the pass.
DeSales has 13 interceptions, 7 fumble recoveries on the year. Make that 9 now after getting 2 fumble recoveries tonight. 3rd and 10. Same formation, trips to the right, 2 receivers to the left.
I would imagine they're going to throw to the right side of the field with a post route.
Here comes the blitz from Babin. He falls. Now Scroggins trying to roll to the right, still looking. Here comes some pressure. Scroggins going to keep it. He breaks 1 tackle, breaks another tackle, goes out of bounds finally, about 4 yards short of the first down.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to keep the clock rolling.
So good pressure. Babin with the blitz that time, forced Scroggins out of the pocket. Mm-hmm. And we're going to have a timeout by DeSales, I believe. It is a timeout with 53 seconds to go. They're going to mark the ball at the 31, so it'll be 4th and 5, probably out of Givens' field goal range. So you got to think they're going to be going for it on 4th and 5.
Yeah, definitely. On this side of the field, they got an opportunity to go up 2 scores. So I definitely would imagine them going for it on 4th and 5 and continue to stay in that shotgun, no back formation.
Do you still see the middle of the field open? Is that where you think they're going to be going, or is Centurion starting to close down on that?
Yeah, the Centurions are starting to close down on that. They've dropped the linebacker in coverage in the middle of the field, so I don't see that being an option on 4th and 5. My best guess is they're going to try to hit an outside receiver for a short route, maybe at the sticks with 50 seconds left, or they may go for it all if the receiver is covered on the outside.
So the DeSales passing attack has come out tonight. Something we did not expect to see, at least this much of it. They did have some success against the Centurions last time. But Scroggins getting a lot of time to throw back there.
Yeah, and the Centurions are staying with their larger D lineman set to kind of continue to put the pressure on them. So those stunts, I think, will continue to be intact here on this play.
4th and 5 for the Colts. Trips to the right, 2 receivers to the left. And Centurions go offsides. Another penalty against the Centurions, and that's going to give DeSales a first down.
Yep, in a close game like this, especially here in the first half, unfortunately, penalties continue to kill the Centurions.
That's going to make it 1st and 10 from the 26, though. Still not in field goal range, but they do have a first down now. Scroggins back to pass. Looking, here comes some pressure. He's going to catch his man coming across. James Johnson, and he's going to go around some players and get in for the touchdown. So exactly what you didn't want to see happens. A touchdown for DeSales, a 26-yard pass to James Johnson.
Yeah, with Cal dropping that linebacker in the middle of the field for that coverage, seems like DeSales drew up a play for Johnson and really crossed the front of the linebacker that's dropping back and completed that pass.
So the turnover comes back to hurt the Centurions. Givens in for the extra point. Ball's down, kick is up, kick is good by Givens.
Oh,
no, it's no good.
Hit the left side goalpost.
And that could come back into play.
Yeah, and especially in a game like this, certainly could.
So that gives DeSales a score 20-7 with 43 seconds to go. Givens was 41 of 45 for extra points coming into the game. And that could come back to be a big play and help the Centurions.
And you got to imagine with only 43 seconds left in the half, the Centurions definitely have to try and put some points up on the board. And just based on the flow of the game and the previous kicks, they will certainly get some decent field position based on where DeSales has been kicking the ball in the previous kicks.
That was a 33-second drive that covered 36 yards in 4 plays, ending in that 26-yard touchdown pass to James Johnson from Scroggins. So penalties and turnovers hurting the Centurions this evening. But we've seen a number of kickoff and punt returns for touchdowns this year by the Centurions. I can't think of a better time to have one than right now.
Yeah, certainly would be a great time.
Gibbons sets the ball up, ready to kick away here.
Bardstown 21-13 with 11:20 left in the first half.
Bardstown beating E-Town 21-13. E-Town ranked 3rd. Bardstown is ranked 10th. And now Gibbons decides to kick a hard one. The Centurions are sneaking up on him. He kicks one into the end zone. Centurions will take over on their own 20.
Yeah, nice changeup by DeSales. I guess they're thinking with 43 seconds left, we certainly don't want to give them any additional yards with this being a game of field position and inches. So kick it deep in the end zone. Cal wasn't set up for any type of return based on that sort of kick.
It says on the board DeSales has 2 timeouts left. I thought they took another one. I thought they only had 1 left, but so Sabatino going to be in the shotgun. He has 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Takes a snap. He's going to fire it quickly out to the left side to Leaper. Leaper breaks 1 tackle, has the first down as he's thrown to the ground on the far side.
Yeah, and DeSales has come out in this drive, and they're changed up their defensive scheme. They now actually have a safety in the middle of the field. So in these type of situations, Cal is going to have to create some difficult one-on-one matchups and just hope with the cushion that the defenders are giving the receivers that they can go in the open field and make a play.
1st and 10 from the 31, throws it out to the side to Guerin, tries to cut back to the middle to find some space. Ball's on the ground again, and another fumble recovery by DeSales. So the 3rd fumble of the evening by the Centurions. It's really the 4th fumble of the evening. Centurions recovered 1 of them, and DeSales must be doing a great job trying to strip the ball.
Yeah, I've seen that all night where those defenders, as soon as someone makes contact with the offensive player, you have a few other players that are coming up and trying to strip the ball out, and they were successful in doing so on that last play.
So DeSales gets the ball at the Centurion 35-yard line after that turnover. Boy, you cannot afford to let DeSales score another one here.
You cannot. 13 seconds left in the game. You don't want that momentum to continue to shift.
Need some pressure on Scroggins. Here comes some pressure right up the middle to Scott. touchdown saving tackle by Babin. Incomplete pass, they say.
Incomplete pass.
Wow. I don't know what happened there, but he was wide open. I don't know how he was wide open. I don't know how he dropped the ball.
Yeah, me either. The referee signaling that he didn't have control after he took his first step. He was still sort of bobbling the ball as he was taking that first step.
That could be a break for the Centurions right there.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be 2nd and 10 as the Boo Birds from DeSales go crazy.
Yeah, I would imagine they go back with a similar play based on the defensive formation for the Centurions.
And he's going to throw it long again, going to the side. It's going to be knocked away on the far side. Gage Guerin intercepted.
Yeah.
Intercepted by Gage Guerin. And we got DeMarcus Avery down in the end zone. So Gage Guerin with the interception.
Great play there. Great play by Guerin.
Guerin with his 2nd INT of the night. And that'll give the ball back to the Centurions with 2 seconds. I don't think there's a whole lot they can do, but we know DeSales can't score now.
That's right, yeah. One-on-one matchup there, and Guerin just went up for the ball at his highest point and came up with the interception. So that's what you want to see, especially in a final 2 drives like this, and make a big play on defense, and you get that momentum moving into the second half of the ball game.
Well, I got to tell you, I thought Guerin's momentum took him into the end zone, and they're giving the Centurions the ball at the 2-yard line.
I thought so as well.
I don't know how you can give it to him at the 2. I mean, he was running step for step with Avery.
Yeah.
And grabbed that ball, and they both fell into the end zone.
Yep.
But with 2 seconds, Sabatino just needs to take a knee and get to the locker room.
Yeah. Either that or some sort of play action. Just toss the ball down the field.
Hand off to Zimmer, and he's going to get the ball. He's going to cradle it very tightly so he won't lose it. And that's going to bring us to the end of the first half. Centurions trail DeSales 20-7. We'll be back in about 12 minutes with a recap of the first half stats, and second half action. We'll be back in about 12. Take a break, everybody. Welcome back to Christian Academy Louisville football, where the Centurions trailed DeSales 20-7 at halftime. Game started out, Centurions had the opening kickoff, and it looked like they were going to do some great things. They took it at their own 36, got all the way down to their 18-yard line, but then were forced to try a field goal, a 35-yarder, and it was missed. It was blocked, as a matter of fact, and DeSales took over. But then on the third play of DeSales' drive, it was an interception by Guerin, one of two that he has had on the evening, his 7th of the season. Gave the ball back to the Centurions, but 3 plays later, the Centurions had 1 of 3 fumbles they had in the first half and gave the ball right back to DeSales. DeSales did not get a first down, forced a punt, but then Centurions were 3 and out as well and punted back, and then DeSales took over with 1:42 to go in the third quarter at their own 30. And they scored 8 plays later, a 28-yard pass to Dimitri Scott, and DeSales was on the board and it had 7-0. But the Centurions answer. They got the return the kickoff to the 46-yard line. They had a drive just under 8 minutes, covering 12 plays and 54 yards, ending in a quarterback sneak by Sabatino to go across. It was 7-7. But then for two teams that couldn't score in the first quarter, it became a score fest here. DeSales took over on their own 34 after the kickoff by the Centurions. 3 plays later, a 17-yard pass to Dimitri Scott, his second touchdown reception of the evening, and it was 14-7 DeSales. Then the turnover bugaboo hit the Centurions again. On the very first play from their next series, Sabatino hit in the back and fumbled, and DeSales took over on the Centurion 36, and 4 plays later, it was a 26-yard pass to James Johnson after a key 4th down penalty on the Centurions, and the Centurions trailed 20-7 after a missed extra point by Givens. Then Centurions got it back. They fumbled yet again. Then DeSales took over on the Centurion 35, but Guerin came up with his second interception of the evening with 2 seconds to go, and that's how the half ended, 20-7. DeSales with the lead. 3 turnovers, a number of penalties on the Centurions have kind of been the story of this game so far. And Draper, I think you have the stats from the first half.
Yes, so both teams have had 8 first downs in the game, pretty much dominated by passing first downs. They're even there as well with 5. As we look at the third down efficiency, Cal is 3 for 5, and DeSales has been 1 for 4. So that's definitely where we're winning the battle there. Total yards, 129 for the Centurions, 169 for DeSales, and most of those are in the passing game with 108 total yards for the Centurions and 141 yards for DeSales. For quarterback James Johnson, he was 7 of 14 in the first half, averaging about 20 yards per pass. And Sabatino was 7 of 9, averaging 15 yards per pass. Both teams were pretty low from the rushing perspective. 21 rushing yards for the Centurions and 28 for DeSales, with 16 rushing attempts for the Centurions and 9 for DeSales. Cal's only averaging about 1.3 yards per carry, and the DeSales is averaging about 3 yards per carry. So penalties have seemed, and turnovers have been the theme of the game tonight. Cal has had a total of 7 penalties for 54 yards, and DeSales only had 1 penalty for 2 yards. As far as the turnovers, Cal has had 3 turnovers. That's 3 fumbles, and they've actually lost 3 fumbles as well. And DeSales has thrown 2 interceptions for Cal. So those are our stats pretty much for the night. Extra points 1 for 1 for the Centurions, and DeSales is 2 for 3, Mike.
So, I mean, what is Coach Cantwell saying to the team at halftime right now?
Yeah, if I'm Coach Cantwell, I'm definitely talking about protecting the football. You know, as an offense, we got to sustain our drives, and the only way we're able to do that is to execute our plays and just make sure we take care of the football. And defensively, you want to do the opposite. You want to cause turnovers. Johnson has thrown 2 interceptions. They hadn't rushed the ball a lot, so continue to lock in on those receivers and see if we can get a couple more interceptions as we wrap up the game and enter into the second half.
Now, what would you see him – because we saw DeSales come out in this passing offense, assume they keep that the second half. What adjustments are you going to make on the defensive side?
Yeah, from a defensive perspective for the Centurions, they're definitely going to have to get more pressure up the field. If that stunts for the D lineman or if that's bringing an extra linebacker and pressure up the middle of the field, because Johnson seems to be having the most success in the pocket and in the middle of the field. He's not scrambling a ton. So if I'm the defensive coordinator there, I'm definitely going to make sure I put a lot of pressure on him in the second half. Even if they decide to come out and run the ball, we definitely want to make sure we get our linemen in those gaps and bring a lot of great pressure up the field.
Other games in the district, as you know, if you've been following us, there are 8 districts in Kentucky, and the Centurions are in the grouping with districts 1, 2, 3, and they are in District 4. After this round this week, the 4 teams that are remaining, they'll be seeded based on RPI. Those other teams playing tonight, Paducah-Tillman. Union County is going to Paducah-Tillman. Paducah-Tillman beat them 49-13 in the regular season. Paducah-Tillman ranked 2nd, Union County 18th. And another one is Glasgow, Taylor County visiting Glasgow. They are 6 and 14 respectively. And then Elizabeth and Bardstown, 2 very closely ranked teams. E-Town is ranked 4, Bardstown 10. Bardstown winning that game 30-27 at halftime. So the winner of this game, you can't say who they're going to go play yet because you don't know who's winning and who's losing.
Yes.
If everything happens as is and Centurions come back and win and everybody wins it should, the Centurions will be going to Paducah-Tillman next week. But there's a lot of football to play before we get to that situation. And we are about to start the second half. DeSales will be receiving.
Coach Campbell's done a great job all season making those second half adjustments. So I fully anticipate the second half to look a whole lot different. Just got to protect the football.
Protect the football and cut back on the penalties. That is the key. Lance Wider is back for DeSales. As Cornett arranges where he wants the football. He comes close to the right hash mark at the 40-yard line. Wider sets up about the 10. Antoine Johnson on the far side of the field at the 20. DeMarcus Avery nearest us. This ball's going to go to Wider. He's going to take it at the 9. He comes up across the 30-yard line, does a little spin move, and taking him to the ground is Sutherland. A pretty good field position for DeSales at their own 34. So let's see what DeSales has in mind. Will they go back to their running attack that the Centurions thwarted pretty well, or go to that wide open passing attack that really played against the Centurions? DeSales only averaging just over 10 passes a game at 14, I believe, in that first half. So they are definitely committed to that, and they're staying with that offense. Trips to the right, 2 receivers to the left. So let's see what Coach Cantwell has in mind. See if the Centurions can put a little more pressure on Scroggins. He's back to pass. Got a lot of time. The ball is tipped and then goes through the hands of James Johnson.
Yes, it's interesting how they're using Johnson during this game. They're lining him up in the slot, and he's doing a lot of crossing routes coming underneath those linebackers. So just trying to stretch the field and let him use his speed and get out to the outside.
If you can get him in the open, he becomes a different kind of problem to handle.
Absolutely.
It'll be 2nd and 10 for DeSales. It'd be great if Centurions can stop them and force a punt here on the first series. Open backfield again. This has proved effective for DeSales. Scroggins back to pass. A little bit of pressure, but not much. He's going to dump late to Johnson. Johnson tries to get outside, breaks a couple tackles, has the first down up to the 45-yard line.
Yeah, by Kyle not getting any pressure there on Johnson. Here again, it's just giving him a lot of time in the pocket, and he's able to hit those crossers route. They actually ran an opposite side receiver, a slot receiver, double crossing routes for both of them. So that extra time, but not getting any pressure on him, allowed him to make that quick pass out to Johnson, and Johnson is able to get in the open field and try and make a defender miss.
They mark the ball at the 44-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Colts. This time their trips come to the left side. Babin looks like he's going to blitz. Now he backs off. Here comes some pressure. Scroggins able to avoid it, but he's not going to avoid that one. We got a sack in the backfield. Henry Fetter with the huge loss all the way back to the They're going to mark it at the 29.
Yeah.
They mark it at the 30.
Wow.
He tackled him about the 27-yard line.
He did. I didn't hear a whistle blow or anything, so I'm not sure about that spot there. And just seems like the last two defensive plays, Cal has made a declaration to get pressure from the outside. So they're taking that linebacker. He's set up, and Johnson's looking at that formation. Then that linebacker to the strong side is sliding over to the opposite side in and creating pressure.
2nd and 24 for the Colts. Henry Fetter with the sack. Scroggins, the first time he's had some pressure. He's just going to launch it in the air this time, and that pressure may have forced him to throw it a little bit early that time.
Yeah, I definitely think so. He's recognizing that pressure's coming from the outside, and they did a stunt there in the middle and added additional pressure there for Scroggins to have to – I'm sorry, for Johnson to have to make a decision.
Threw it over the head of Antoine Johnson, was the intended receiver by Scroggins, and this brings up a 3rd and 24. Be great to hold him, force DeSales into a punt. DeMarcus Avery kind of limping a little bit back to the huddle. Gets in it late.
Yeah, he looks hurt. It looks like they may have to get him out the
game.
He's
going to come out.
But he's
just going to stop and go to the right side this time.
Okay.
Looked like he was going to the bench. Then he just stops and decides to go. And they're going to go long. Passes up, and it's going to be incomplete. Avery on the ground, but no flag, and that's going to bring up a punting situation. Great job by the Centurion defense.
Yeah, way to come out in the first drive and make those adjustments and put pressure there on Scroggins and hold them to, having to punt the ball here on 4th down.
Givens into punt. Leaper will be back for the Centurions. Leaper's going to set up about the 44-yard line. So the defense have done their job here on the first series of the second half. And it's time for the Centurions to hold on to the ball and come down and score.
Kind of nice to have the right number of players out there for this punt return.
Punt is in the air. It is a shanked kick, and it doesn't even make it back to the original line of scrimmage. It goes out at the 42-yard line of DeSales. Centurions are going to have great field position to start their first drive of the second half.
Yeah, so that's the kind of field position you definitely want when you're down 2 scores, and you want to create some momentum offensively in the second half.
They're going to actually place the ball at the 45-yard line of the Colts. So Centurions, great field position. Let's see what they have drawn up for the second half.
Yeah, this looks like a run play. Fullback is blocking. You may see a little bit of play action here, so you just never know how they'll set this play up.
Both Babbins in the backfield. Brandt gets it. He puts his head down. We got a flag on the play, though. I don't know why that should shock us whatsoever.
Looks like we got an illegal shift.
So the Centurions with yet another penalty, their 8th of the evening. And that's going to nullify the 4-yard gain and move the ball back to the 50. So that'll make it 1st and 15. So the Centurions hurt themselves once again. Let's see if they can overcome it, though. This is only a 5-yard penalty. Minor in comparison to the other penalties this evening. Leaper and Guerin come to the right side. Babin in the backfield. Play action. Sabatino, he's going to keep it. He's got some room. He's across the 50, but, man, it just falls away quickly.
So he got back to the original line of scrimmage, and a great decision there. The receivers recovered. The defense didn't bite on the play action, and Babin just took the ball and just made a play with his feet. But the thing I like there, Mike, is he protected the football.
Whiter and Hollenkamp on the tackle. And I tell you, that first game, Hollenkamp got hurt and went out, and he made a huge difference not being in that game for DeSales, the middle linebacker for the Colts. 2nd and 10 for the Centurions. Hand off to Babin. Buries his head, but he goes down. Hollenkamp in there on the tackle, along with DeJuan Watkins. And it'll be 3rd and 10 for the Centurions. And that running game just isn't there.
It's not. The Sales D linemen, they've been owning the line of scrimmage the last few plays, and We just got to keep fighting there with our offensive linemen and knocking them back off the ball.
3rd and 10. Big play early in the second half for the Centurions. Guerin goes left, Leeper goes right. Watch for Will Parr across the middle.
Yeah, on 3rd and 10, you imagine a play action here and hitting a receiver.
It is a play action. Up, he's going to go long. He's got a man, and it's going to be incomplete.
Looks like pass interference.
But there's no flag.
That should be pass interference.
How can there be no flag out there? Guerin was going, number 21. Caleb Weinbrenner followed him, had his hands on him, tripped him. And I guess they're just saying they were running together. Coach Cantwell not happy on that call.
Yeah, it looks like the referees signaled that their feet got tangled up, so no interference.
I can see feet getting tangled up. I don't see hands get tangled up very often, but it's 4th and 10, and in comes the punting unit. So the Centurions, that would have been a great play. Leeper had gotten behind him.
Absolutely.
But Sabatino will do the punt here with 8:04 to go in the 3rd quarter. Antoine Johnson back for DeSalle, sits up. Sabatino looking to pass. He's got a man. Fake punt, first down. Pass to Sutherland.
If there were any time you wanted to take a risk and do a fake punt, now was a good time. So great call there by the Centurions.
And Jacob Sutherland, that may be his first reception of the year. I'm not sure. He hadn't had many, but a great call, a daring call by Coach Cantwell, and sometimes those are the plays that just turn a game around.
Absolutely. You can certainly build off that. Great hands there demonstrated by Sutherland, and he turned the Jets on and made sure he got upfield, first down.
Sutherland's first reception of the year. He's going to be telling people in 5 years he was the best receiver on the team. 1st and 10 from the 23 of DeSales. Sabatino, and we got another flag.
Looks like it's a false start there.
False start against the Centurions.
Yeah, we got to alleviate those penalties in order to continue to sustain these drives.
Moves the ball back to the 28, 1st and 15 for the Centurions. We had lots of penalties last week, but we had a big enough lead where they didn't come back to haunt us. This week, we got to stop them. King splits to the left side. Guerin goes in motion right to left. Leeper still by himself, and we're going to have a timeout by the Centurions, I believe. And it will be with 7:01 to go in the 3rd quarter. Centurions trail DeSales 20-7, but deep into DeSales territory.
Follow Cal Athletics on Twitter for Centurion Athletic news and game updates. Cal Athletics at Centurion AD on Twitter.
Brad Morgan and the whole athletic staff does a great job keeping everybody updated on Twitter.
For Cal sports games and scores and schedules, visit our website, www.caschools.us/Centurions Athletics.
And we are about back to action here. 1st and 15 for the Centurions. They trail by 13 and sorely need a touchdown on this drive. Kept alive by a beautifully executed fake punt. Sabatino to Sutherland to get the first down. Sabatino under center. Play action, looking to pass, throws it back. He has Dupes on the right side. Dupes is going to get across the 25. That isn't Dupes. It's number
31 Parr.
Will Parr.
Yeah.
How could I forget Will Parr's number? I was thinking that was somebody else for a minute. Will Parr with the completion gets it down to the 21-yard line. That's going to make it 2nd and 8 for the Centurions.
Yeah, nice job by Parr fighting for those extra yards after the catch. Continue to move those chains.
King and Guerin go left. Leeper to the right side. Babin to the left to Sabatino. Starts left, comes back to the right. Has Leeper, incomplete pass. Wouldn't have got much yardage, I don't think, anyway. So that's going to bring up a 3rd and 8 for the Centurions, and you got to think this is 2-down territory for the Centurions.
Absolutely. 3rd and 8. You definitely got to be thinking 2 downs.
6:47 to go third quarter. Mike Botello, Draper Hall with Centurion action. Playoff time. Winner goes on to the next round. Loser goes home for the season. Double backfield for the Centurions. Guerin right, Leaper left. Sabatino taking his time, gets under center. Fakes the handoff, looking. Pass out, complete out to the right side to Guerin. They're going to say, is it complete?
Complete
First
pass.
down. I thought the official said incomplete over there. Guerin, a good job coming back and catching that ball for the first down to the 10-yard line, 1st and goal.
Yeah, and a nice pitch and catch there by Sabatino.
Centurions threatening here. But now you're down that field. It kind of tightens up a little bit down there.
It does. And they've been kind of setting up based on the formations this drive with 2 backs in the backfield, Sabatino brothers. So I would anticipate a run here on first down.
Babin's in the backfield. Hand off to Brant Babin. And he's going to get met at the line and go down for no gain. Maybe a yard. Looks like they're going to give him a yard. So what kind of pass play do you run down here with this defense they have going that would come open?
Yeah, so here in this short down and distance, you don't necessarily have to do a play action because they're protecting their goal line there. And pass play, basically a post route maybe out toward the sideline will be pretty appropriate for this type of drive.
Single backfield. Sabatino's going to keep it and run. He's to the 5 before he gets knocked down, so that's going to bring up 3rd and goal from the 5.
Yeah, the receiver ran a post there on the right, and Sabatino felt the pressure and I think made a really good decision, just trying to get as many yards as he can running up the field.
And you got to think once again, 2 down for the Centurions, trailing by 13. Centurions eating up a lot of clock. They've already amassed a 5-minute drive this time, but they need to get in the end zone.
Yeah, the middle of the field looks to be open, so Sabatino looks to his left and throws a pass to the slant.
Fakes the pass, trying to get through now, makes a turn around to about the 2-yard line. Great run by Sabatino.
Absolutely.
And
Great job, too, of keeping his eyes downfield. Even though the pressure was coming upfield, he continued to keep his eyes on the receivers. And looks like the goal line package is now into effect. I see Mike Mawsey coming into the game along with the Babin brother.
I wish it was Mike Mawsey, but that's the
sorry.
dad. This is Matt.
Sorry,
this
Matt.
is Matt Mawsey.
I keep saying.
Well, take Mike on the line right now.
Yeah. Keep saying Mike. It's Matt.
Matt's in the game. Mike, of course, his dad played at U of L. And I put it wrong on the depth chart. I had Mike Mawsey on the depth chart, which is what Draper's going by.
Yeah, shout out to Mike Mawsey, one of my fellow coaches there. I just have you on my mind.
4th and goal from the 2 for the Centurions. Hand off to Babin. I don't think he's going to make it. He's going to be short. He got down to the 1. And DeSales is going to take over on downs. So the Centurions keep it for nearly 6 minutes, but come up empty. But they do give DeSales the ball on the 1-yard line, or make it the 2. So let's see if the defense can do anything here and keep DeSales back and give great field position to the Centurions, or force a turnover and get a score.
Yeah, I like Cal's defense in this position here. You got them pinned in on their end of the field. And if we continue to get the pressure like we did in the previous drive, I think we'll have a good shot at stopping any momentum that they may have.
Scroggins goes under center with Hollenkamp in the backfield. Scroggins going to keep it, and he's going to get out to the 6 to give him some breathing room. And they just opened up a big hole for him up the middle.
Yeah, and that's the first play formation in quite some time where they've even had a tailback in the backfield. He's pretty much been in the shotgun formation for the majority of the game. With wideouts.
So it'll be 2nd and 6 for the Centurions. For the Colts from the 6-yard line. It is Antoine Johnson and Hollenkamp in the backfield now. Antoine Johnson speedy, but they give it to Hollenkamp, the first man through, and I think he's got the first down.
Yeah, Mike, and I wonder, just based on field position or not, if they're going to come out, being up 2 scores and just kind of try to run the football right at the Centurions.
So the Centurions started their last drive on the 45, kept it alive with a fake punt, but failed to get in on the 4th and 2. So DeSales takes over, and now they have a first down. Going with the double backfield again, Hollenkamp and Antoine Johnson.
Yeah, so it doesn't look like he made any adjustments, so I anticipate a run here.
Hollenkamp up the middle again, falls forward to about the 13 or 14-yard line, a couple-yard gain. Make it a 3-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 7 for the Centurions. Hollenkamp, Antoine Johnson stay in the backfield.
Yeah, I like the adjustment here. They actually have Matt Mozzie over the center of the on this play.
Ball given Antoine Johnson. He breaks through, and he could be gone. We got one, Nate Dobbs, trying to catch up with him and slows him down enough for the Centurions to bring him down. Mays finally brings him down, but the speeding running back Johnson just shot through the hole down to the 23 of the Centurions.
Yeah, Johnson just busts through the lane there on the right side, and lucky for the Centurions, that wasn't a score because there was nothing but green grass in front of him. So great effort on the Centurions' defensive back's part by making sure he doesn't score.
I thought he was gone, but Nate Dobbs showing some speed, and so Mekhi Mays to bring him down. He stopped the touchdown. Hollenkamp and Antoine Johnson in the backfield again. Scroggins hands off to Hollenkamp this time, and they are getting big holes on that right side.
Yeah.
That's the side they keep hitting.
So the Sales looks like they've made up their mind that they're going to continue to run the football and eat up some of this clock and just force the Centurions to have to stop the run.
Make it a 5-yard gain. 8 to the 18. It'll be 2nd and 5. We have under a minute to go here in the third quarter. Scroggins under center, taking his time. James Johnson in the game now in the backfield. And he's going to get the ball, and he's going to maneuver around, but he's going to go nowhere. Looked like the ball may have been loose, but he saw a couple Centurions come jumping in late as if there was a loose ball.
Yeah.
But Johnson not getting up.
Yep, but the way the refs are calling this game, you almost wonder if, once he's down, you got to sort of delay any additional action there on the defensive side of the ball.
So no gain for Johnson. Is going to make it 3rd and 5, but the young man is down, and they're attending to him now.
Centurion Armory. New winter merchandise is now available in the Centurion Armory. The Armory is Cal's retail store with a full line of clothing, accessories, and merchandise for every Centurion fan. The Armory is open Tuesday through Friday, 2:30 to 4 o'clock p.m., and till 7 o'clock p.m. at all home football games.
So a lot of great merchandise in that Centurion Armory. If you want to get ready for Christmas and upcoming basketball season, and hopefully Centurions can come back here the rest of the football season, no better place to get that Cal merchandise than at the Centurion Armory. Also a great day this last week, a bunch of college signings headed by Gabby Albiero, of course, in her great swimming career going on to University of Louisville, and a number of other athletes going on.
Yeah, congratulations to all our female athletes who signed letters of intent on Wednesday. All 6 of them signed Division I scholarships. Mia Beam in basketball, Cornell University. The great Shelby Calhoun in basketball. We're signing with Virginia Tech University. Caroline Donovan in soccer, Samford University. Elizabeth Fortuna in soccer, the University of Cincinnati. And rounding out that list, Olivia Dawson, Sarkerswell, Xavier University. So congratulations to all of our female Cal athletes who signed letters of intent this past week.
How great is it to have 6 athletes going on to D1 and then a number of other athletes going on to play college ball at different levels too for the Centurions?
Absolutely. A major testament to our athletic department in really training and developing young athletes for the next level.
If Johnson, a 1-yard gain on that last play, so it'll be 3rd and 4 as the clock is back running, and we're going to run out of the quarter here. We come to the end of 3 quarters of play. No score in the 3rd quarter. DeSales leads still 20-7.
Cal Hoops will be hosting a Night of the Centurions featuring both boys and girls basketball teams from 6th grade to varsity tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. Bring 2 canned goods or a donation for entry. All are welcome. A chili supper will be held from 5 to 6:15 p.m. in the cafeteria before the event. Cost is $5 per meal, and proceeds will benefit the Cal basketball programs.
I'm going to tell you, not a better way to do it than come out on a cold night tomorrow night, have some chili, and then come see a preview of all the Cal basketball teams. Of course, last year they started the 2A state championship in basketball for the first time. The Cal girls won the 2A state championship. The boys got to Owensboro to participate in the Final Four there, and so it was great having both those teams there. And I know we talk about how football's 3A, basketball, obviously, they play the entire state tournament end of the year, but they'll take 2A schools, which is what we are in basketball, and they have a chance to go to that tournament again this year. And I'm going to tell you, it was a great time. And new Coach Pridemore for the girls program this year, and Coach Hibbert just do a great job on coaching those 2 basketball teams. So come out and enjoy Saturday night, and then the basketball season will be starting here soon. But we are still in the midst of football season, and a little ways to go here. 3rd and 4 for DeSales. Centurions need a stop. Scroggins hands off to the first man through. He is not going to get the first down. He's going to pick up about a yard. I did not even see who the runner was. It was Hollenkamp.
Yeah, great play by Hollenkamp. They stopped him there. Cal had 8 players in the box there anticipating the run.
So another field goal attempt here, a 35-yarder by Gibbons. He is 5 for 8 on the year. Ball being held by Garrett Price, the freshman. Ball is down, a high snap, kick is up, and the kick is going to be good. A 35-yarder by Gibbons, and that makes up for that missed extra point and makes it a 3-score lead for DeSales.
There's still plenty of time in this game for the Centurions to put a couple drives together and put some points up on the board.
That drive started from the 1-yard line of DeSales, and they were able to drive it all the way down to the 25, I guess they got down to about the 18-yard line there to kick that 35-yard field goal by Gibbons. Gibbons, one of the, I believe, leads the state in field goals. That is his 6th on the season. He missed 2 against the Centurions at Christian Academy in that game. One key one in overtime that would have won it for DeSales in the first overtime. But so Centurions need to come back around. They are down by 14 points, so it's still not 16 points. They need 16 points. They need 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions here, so still potentially a 2-score deficit.
Yes.
But it's just 16. But, hey, let's run the kickoff back and make one of those up on the kickoff.
That would certainly get you started.
Gibbons has gone short all night, except last time after the Centurions started to move up on him, he went with a deep kick over their heads.
Yeah, and the Centurions are definitely lined up to receive the deep kick here, so it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do.
Guerin and Leeper are up at the 20. Gibbons can kick it to about the 10 or 5, but he's been kicking it to about the 30 for the most part tonight. Centurions with their backs to the wall. But a couple scores, and they're right back in it. And this is going to be a kick that Leeper Guerin is going to take at the 15, across the 20, 25, cuts up. He's got some room. He needs to get around one guy, and that one guy, the kicker, Givens, trips him up. He gets around him, and he is gone. But a great return as it is out to the 45-yard line. Now the Centurions offense has got to go to work here and get a quick strike.
Yeah, great run back there. He had a lane, and he took it. And if it wasn't for the kicker, he definitely would have had 6 on the board.
I'm impressed. The kicker, Guerin, put a pretty good move on him.
He did.
And he just kind of stood there and knocked him down enough to be able to put him to the ground.
Yeah, so back in the day, a nice stiff arm would have worked perfectly to get that kicker from making that tackle.
You don't see kickers usually they're kind of backing away a little bit. Givens stayed right in there. Leaper and Givens to the right side. King to the left. Sabatino in the shotgun. In motion goes Guerin. Now he goes back. Here it comes to Guerin on the little shuttle pass. He's going to go nowhere. He was there. He fumbled it. He should be down, though.
Yeah, it looks like he was down.
Dimitri Scott with the tackle, or he just twirled him down. DeSales fans not happy with it.
Yeah, the fans aren't happy, but that was certainly the right call, and I'm glad to see that the right call was made, especially in a tight situation like this for the Centurions.
Make it a 1-yard loss. It'll be 2nd and 11 for the Centurions. And boy, that running game just has not got uncorked at all tonight.
It's not there tonight. They came out in the last drive and tried to establish the run, but, being down 2 scores, they'd have to pass.
Trips to the right. Here comes pressure. Sabatino breaks it, gets the pass away through the hands of Kevin King. Had the first down. Sabatino found him, and he just couldn't hang on to it. It'll be 3rd and 11 for the Centurions.
Yeah, King certainly had an opportunity to come down with the football, but sometimes you just don't get those breaks. Let's see what they do here on 3rd and 11.
Good pressure by DeSales last time, and Sabatino been able to avoid the pressure for the most part this evening. He's got Leaper left, King and Guerin to the right side. Looking to pass. Now he's going to run. He breaks one tackle across the 50. Here they come. He's across the 45. I believe he's got the first down, and he was hit late out of bounds, but no flag. But he should have enough for the first down. Coach Cantwell having a little conversation with the officials, and Sabatino's got the first down. Still a lot of mulling around.
Yeah, and Sabatino appears to be still down on the sideline. He took a pretty big hit as he was running toward that first down yard marker.
He broke about 2 or 3 tackles, and in comes Connor Masters at the quarterback position as Sabatino's being looked at down on the sideline. So Masters in the game for the Centurions. Centurions break the huddle. He's got 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. King and then Guerin and Leaper to the right. Takes the snap. Straight drop back. Looking to pass. Fires across the middle. He has Zimmer. There's going to be a penalty. And I believe it's going to be a hold. It's a completed pass for 4 yards, but it looks like it's going to be a hold. I do not even see Sabatino down on this up there. They're helping him up now.
Yeah, he's up to his feet now and being assisted there by the medical team.
Looks like he took one of those where he maybe hit the knee into the bench or something of that nature.
Yeah, or may just had the wind knocked at him. I had a chance to take a look at him as he was going down, and the ball placement was right there on the belly as he went out of bounds.
So it is against the Centurions, moves it back to the 50. It'll be 1st and 15 for the Centurions after that hold. Master stays in the game. He's got King and Guerin to the right side, Leaper to the left. Throws a quick pass out to Leaper. He's across the 45. He is brought down by Caleb Weinbrenner, but he gets to the 41, make that about a 9-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 6 for the Centurions.
Yeah, Masters did a nice job. He looked very poised, standing in the pocket and the coaching staff set him up pretty nicely for some quick passes just to get him integrated into the game.
And Sabatino back in the game for the Centurions. And it'll be 2nd and 6 for Sabatino and the Centurions. Has Babin and Zimmer in the backfield. That's Braden, Babin, and Zimmer in the backfield. Zimmer's going to get the handoff, and he's going to pitch back to Leaper the other way on the reverse. He's pushed back some. He's going to be thrown for a loss. Good play in there by Dimitri Scott to make Leaper take the wide turn and lose 4 yards. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Just a good open field tackle there. The play design was definitely set up to come back to the short side of the field and just see if they can make someone miss.
So it'll be 3rd and 10 for the Centurions. Leaper right, Guerin to the left. You got to think Centurions are going to use 2 downs. They've got to make 2 scores. Play action, Sabatino. He's got a man. It's going to be incomplete. Good defense out there by Lance Wider, who knocked it away from Guerin, the intended receiver. And that's going to bring up 4th and 10 for the Centurions. So big 4th down for the Centurions to stay alive in this game.
Yeah, that was actually a good route by Guerin, and Sabatino tried to throw it high where only he could catch the ball, but the defender there, Lance Wider, got up and knocked the ball out of his hands.
4th and 10. Guerin and Leaper go to the right. Babin and Zimmer in the backfield. Sabatino out. He's got a man complete out to Leaper for the first down. Leaper, a great catch, went high down to about the 26-yard line. 4th down conversion for the Centurions.
Great play call. Great play call there. Sabatino was able to set his feet and get a nice pass off.
Ball on the 26 of DeSales. 1st and 10, 7:54 and running in the game. Centurions down by 16. 23-7.
Yeah, still plenty of time. Get a score. Defense gets a stop. Get the ball back and punch it in.
Guerin left, Leaper right. And we're going to have a timeout by DeSales. They looked a little confused on their personnel. They wanted the game in the game. So 7:37 to go, 23-7 DeSales. But Centurions have the ball and threatening with the ball on the 26 of DeSales. So what do we do now, man? How quickly we got to score, and then do you an onside kick, or you kick it away, or?
Yeah, with 7 minutes left in the ball game, and you got to feel confident that your defense can stop DeSales. I mean, DeSales has come out in the second half, and they've run the ball, and they've had some drives where they've been effective and other drives where they have not. But I would definitely put my confidence in my run defense. So I would score and not give up any field position with an onside kick and just kick it deep and just bet that your defense will get the stop.
Of course, Centurions also have got to get a 2-point conversion if
Absolutely.
they score.
Absolutely.
Both times. So,
yeah. So on first down, if we have to get to a 3rd down, that would be a good time to really start thinking about what that 2-point conversion play would look like.
Oh, the timeout is over. Centurions coming back out on the field. It is 1st and 10 from the DeSales 26. They trail by 16. Centurions trail the series to DeSales 11-13 in games. They trail in playoff games 5-4 to DeSales. Sabatino under center. Takes the snap. Looking to pass. He's going long. He's going for Guerin. Guerin can't get there. Incomplete.
Yeah, that play was certainly there. DeSales is going back to like they did in the first half with 8 in the box. But the difference that they've made, they actually have their D-backs in the alleys at the hash marks there, trying to prevent any short passes or any running lanes that the quarterback may think that they have. So, therefore, creating a lot of one-on-one matchups on the outside. I like that play call, and definitely if they decide to go back to it and against this defense, we get a good throw and a nice catch, and I think we'll have some success.
2nd and 10 for the Centurions. Both receivers to the left. Looking to pass. Sabatino takes some pressure, gets it away. Great catch, great pass by Sabatino to Will Parr. Going to be just short of the first down, about 3rd and 2 for the Centurions, it looks like.
Yeah, and the clock is stopped temporarily to get the first down marker set, so get the play call in, and good opportunity for Sabatino to get in and call the play and get up to the line of scrimmage and run it.
It actually was a first down to the 16-yard line. 16 yards away from the end zone to try to cut this lead down to 8.
And another long, sustaining drive for the Centurions, kind of wearing down that DeSalle defense.
Sabatino under center. Starts to roll right. Has some room. Fire. We got a flag, and we've got an interception by DeSales. With the interception is Avery. He's running it out of the end zone and goes out of bounds about the 39-yard line. We got a flag down, which I think is going to be a hold on the Centurions. But let's see what the call is. Avery just took it away from the intended receiver, Centurions. It is a hold against the Centurions, and DeSales gets their third turnover of the night against Christian Academy.
Yeah, Sabatino looked to like the matchup that he saw, and on the run, threaded that pass right in to the receiver, and just didn't come out on the right side of the play.
Avery just took the ball away. The ball got to both of them at the same time. A good play by Avery, and just ripped it away from the receiver of the Centurions. And it's going to be hard for the Centurions now unless they can get a turnover here and score quickly.
Yeah, and if you're DeSales, I mean, you're up 2 scores with only 6.5 minutes left in the ball game. You don't want to take any chances, and it seems like you're just going to run the football and try to take some time off the clock.
Hollenkamp and Antoine Johnson in the backfield. We'll be calling their name a lot here, and Hollenkamp's going to get the first carry, and he's going to get about a yard or 2. And it is going to get a little chippy. Hollenkamp down on the ground, and the ball just knocked out of his hand after he'd been down there for a few seconds, and some emotions going on behind there as well. It'll be 2nd and 8, a 2-yard gain. They're making a 1-yard gain. Where are they going to put it? 2-yard gain.
Yeah,
to the 41.
Seems like they gave him the forward motion.
A good job by Hollenkamp. Centurions had him at the line of scrimmage and able to squirm through and just fall backwards. Clock continues to run, under 6 minutes to go in the game. Hollenkamp and Antoine Johnson in the backfield again. They give it to Holland. Nope, Scroggins going to keep it. Tries to get outside. Now he pitches to Antoine Johnson, who gets the first down and goes out of bounds into Centurion Field.
We got a flag. Looks like there was a late push out of bounds there on the Centurions. So another penalty.
It was going to be another personal foul on the Centurions. And you're right, he ran himself out of bounds, and the Centurion went over and pushed him.
Yeah, he actually did the Centurions a favor by getting out of bounds on that play to stop the clock. And here again, another penalty that puts us back in a bad position.
And that's going to move the ball all the way from the 45 down to the 30-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Colts at the Centurion 30-yard line.
On that last play, the Centurions were definitely expecting a run up the middle, a quick handoff to the fullback, and he pulled it and did an option to the outside.
Hollenkamp with a big hole up the middle this time, runs into the official who slows him down and gives Nate Dobbs a chance to tackle him, but a first down for Hollenkamp.
I'm wondering, Mike, was there not a whistle? He continued to run with the football and picked up some extra yardage.
How could he not be down?
I guess they didn't blow a whistle. The markers are definitely moving
They're moving all the way. He had him at about the 16-yard line, and they're going to mark it. He just kept running. It looked like he was down, maybe not. But it's marked at the 5-yard line.
Yeah, if you're the Centurions, you have to get a turnover here. Strip the ball, get some pressure upfield, make a big play.
Hand off to Hollenkamp. He's just going to bury his head and go under some legs. He gets down to about the 2 or 3 yard line. Henry Fetter comes up with the ball. The ball was out, but they called him down, and they're going to mark it at the 3 yard line. Boy, it looked like the ball had come out, but
it sure did.
Officials say he's down. They're the ones that run the game. 4:23 to go in the game. Scroggins is going to keep. He's getting some help from behind. DeMarcus Avery with a little push and just starts punching people. He was behind people, just throwing his right hand in there. A flag comes out.
Looks like I heard the whistle, or the officials were gathering there as the play was actually developing. So it'll be interesting to see what this call is.
Should be a personal foul against offsides against the Centurions. Personal foul against DeSales.
They offset or
So we're going to see if they're going to mark both these off. That's what they're doing. They marked off the offsides, and now they're marking off the penalty against DeSales. We had a game last week where we had three dead ball fouls in the same play, and they marked off 10 against the Centurions and like 30 against the other team. They were walking back and forth.
It's interesting how those rules are, those type of penalty in plays in the high school game.
So we are now second and goal from the 16-yard line. A little bit of confusion down on the field. The officials act like they know what's going on. DeSales is in a huddle trying to figure out what's going on. And the Centurions are just waiting for the ball to be snapped. We have 4:01 to go in the game. Now it's 4:11 in the game.
So maybe that was the holdup to
get the
clock adjusted. Now the referee's signaling for the clock to start, and looks like the game will now be back in action.
The whole DeSales team started to run over to the side, but now they're back in huddle, ready to go. Under center goes Scroggins. He's going to pass the ball. He lofts it in the air for Scott, and he's going to catch it for his third touchdown of the night. A 16-yard touchdown pass to Dimitri Scott, and DeSales kind of puts it away on that one as they go up 29-7.
Yeah, one-on-one on the left outside out there, and certainly on 2nd and 16, and you're up like DeSales. I would imagine the defense was anticipating another run.
Givens in for the extra point. He's missed one tonight, but made up for that with a 35-yard field goal. Ball's down, kick is up. This one is good. So DeSales goes up 30-7 with 3:41 to go in the game, and things are looking bleak for the Centurions.
Yeah, they are. After this game, you're going to look back and look at all those penalties and turnovers, and certainly how they played out to be a difference maker in this game in terms of field position. Certainly been a tale of two halves here.
It was a 2-minute, 49-second drive that covered 61 yards in 6 plays. Third touchdown pass of the evening from Scroggins to Dimitri Scott. That's Scroggins' 4th touchdown pass of the evening. Coming into the game, Scroggins had only thrown 8 touchdowns all year, so he has taken half of his total touchdowns on the year and reached that tonight in this game. And I think he had 2 or 3 in the game against us. I think he had 3 in the game against us last time. So 7 of his 12 touchdown passes on the year has come against the Centurions. 3:41 to go in the game. DeSales, the number 5 seed in the state, leading the Centurions, a number 11 seed. Givens, a high short kick, going to be taken by Guerin at the 23. He gets across the 30-35, knocked out of bounds about the 40 on 42-yard line. And we got some more issues down on the field. Not sure if a flag came out or it was just a...
Yeah, I don't see a flag down.
Block down there, but the official came over and talked to the Centurion. Cal take over at their own 41 with 3:33 to go. King and Guerin go left, Leaper to the right. Here comes pressure. Sabatino's got to get out of it and just throws it out of bounds. We got a flag that came down late.
Yeah, the Sales only have 4 rushers on that play. It seems like they're definitely playing a cloud prevent type defense here to stop any pass play or any momentum that Cal is anticipating with their passing attack.
Going to be holding against the Centurions. Yet another penalty against the Centurions. That's going to take the ball all the way back to the 25-yard line. So that'll make it 1st and 25 for the Centurions.
Yeah, and you've got to imagine Coach Canwell during halftime talked about those penalties and turnovers, and the Centurions just hadn't quite managed to overcome them.
Sabatino rolls to the right, throws a quick pass out, going to be complete. I believe that was Kevin King. So a completed pass to King gets it out to the 36-yard line. That'll make it 2nd and 15 for the Centurions.
Good catch by King. He knew it would probably take a big hit, but he stuck in there, held onto the ball, and completed the catch.
Clock under 3 minutes to go in the game now. Sabatino fires a quick one out. It's going to be incomplete. Going on the far side out there for Luke Leaper. Ball hit the ground before it got to him. Had to be like a shortstop scoop on that one.
Yeah, passed on a little low, but great effort there trying to catch and complete that pass, and it just didn't go his way.
So 3rd and 15 for the Centurions from their own 36. DeSales will go on to play in the 3rd round of the state tournament next week. If everybody wins that should win, then DeSales will be the number 3 seed and going to E-Town next week. There's a loss in there. DeSales will be hosting next week. Sabatino's going to roll left, fires it quickly out to Guerin. A little behind him, incomplete, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Yeah, Guerin sat there, sat down on the route to kind of get in an open space, and it seems like he started to make his cut up the field, and the ball just bounced out of his hands.
So Centurions will end the season 7-5. What could have been a lot more win, man, so many close games. A loss to Ballard in overtime, a loss to Mercer County by 3, a loss to DeSales in 2 overtimes. And then this loss tonight, not a great way to end the season, but a good year for the Centurions.
I would certainly agree with that.
Sabatino looking to pass. He throws it. He throws short at Kevin King, and it's going to be turned over on downs. And that's going to be the game basically right there as we turn the ball over on downs on that incomplete pass. And DeSales is going to be, I guess they basically are like district championships now. They'll be the regular season and tournament champions of District 4. And they'll take over on the 36 of the Centurions. You would think they would run the ball out, but you're never sure with the Colts. It's going to be a handoff to Hollenkamp. He's going to bury his head. He's going to pick up about 5 yards on the play. Fetter with the tackle. We'll talk about it after the game, but a lot of great seniors on this Centurion team this year that we won't see anymore. We'll talk about them after the game and go over some of their highlights. But what a 4 years these guys have seen. 2 state championships in there, 3 trips to the Final Four. 2 of those went farther along. Just a great record over the 4 years for these guys.
Yeah, what a great run they've had over the last 4 years and memories that they will take with them for a lifetime.
Handoff to Hollenkamp. Going to be just short of the first down. Of course, this team, this is their 4th year as freshmen. They won the state championship in 2016 to the Final Four in 17, another state championship in 18, and then this year out in the second round. But not a whole lot of people can say I was state champion for 2 of my 4 years of playing football.
That's right. Quite an accomplishment. Quite an accomplishment. They've certainly set a foundation and put Christian Academy football on the map in terms of the type of players that we have and what we're capable of accomplishing here in the league.
We have nearly 60 seconds to go here in the game. As a matter of fact, we are right at 1 minute to go. Second down for DeSales. They just need to take a couple of knees and end this game. And congratulations to this Colts team and good luck to them. They have been knocked out of the tournament the last 3 years by Christian Academy. And Centurions return the favor of being knocked out by DeSales for 4 straight years. Centurions won in 2011. DeSales then knocked Centurions out the next 4 years. Centurions knocked DeSales out the next 3. And DeSales is returning the favor this year. And DeSales will go try to return as state champs. They last won it 2013 and 14. They were state champs in 2A. They'll try to go win their 3A state championship after defeating the Centurions 30-7. We'll be back in a minute to wrap up tonight's contest and the final of the Centurion season. We'll be back in a moment, everybody. Welcome back to Centurion football, where the Centurions fall to DeSales in the state playoffs 30-7 this year. And ends their season at 7-5 on the season. Game starts, Centurion's taking the opening kickoff, and you thought they were driving the ball was going to be great, but a couple things happened during that drive that kind of reminiscent of the entire night. First of all, they had 3 penalties that hurt them extremely, and that was 3 of many penalties to come on the evening. And they had to settle for a 35-yard field goal attempt that was no good, and a big drive. I got to move the camera back in here before it falls over the ledge that we had it on tonight. But so the Centurions could not score in that first one, but then on DeSales' 4th play of the drive, Centurions came through. Gage Guerin with an interception, his first of 2 on the evening. But then the Centurions, which was the other problem of the evening, was the turnovers, as they had 4 turnovers on the evening. Turned it over as a fumble. DeSales took it, but couldn't do anything with it. They eventually punted, but then the Centurions had to punt right back. Then DeSales, the next time they had it, had a 70-yard drive, ending in one of 3 touchdown passes on the evening to Dimitri Scott. This was one of 28 yards. But the Centurions answered. They had a drive just under 8 minutes that covered 54 yards. Sabatino with a 1-yard quarterback sneak, and it was tied at 7. But then DeSales came right back, a 66-yard drive of their own, ending this time in a 17-yard pass to Dimitri Scott, and it was 14-7. And then the turnovers hurt Centurions again. This time it was another fumble. DeSales took over. This time it was a 36-yard drive. This time a 26-yard pass to James Johnson. And then another fumble by the Centurions, but an interception by Gage Guerin, his second of the game, and that's how the half ended, 20-7. The third quarter, and that may be the other part that really hurt the Centurions tonight. Their defense, a great job on the first series by DeSales. They forced a punt. It was a punt that was shanked. Centurions took over on the DeSales 45-yard line. They drove it all the way down to the 1. It was drove it to the 2. It was 4th and goal from the 2, and they could not get it across. And DeSales took over on the 1. You're thinking, okay, we don't score. We got DeSales at the 1. Maybe our defense can hold, but DeSales able to drive all the way down to the 18-yard line of the Centurions. And the first play got him to the 6. The second play got him a first down. Then a huge one by Antoine Johnson got him down to the 23 and put him in position for a 35-yard field goal by Givens, and that gave a 23-7 lead to DeSales. But then the Centurions got it back. They were driving once again, starting at their own 45. They got down to the 16 before a Sabatino pass was intercepted, the 4th turnover of the night by the Centurions, and DeSales turned that one into a TD as well on a 61-yard drive that ended in the 3rd touchdown pass of the evening to Dimitri Scott. And that was a 16-yarder, and that ended the scoring for the evening and gave DeSales a 30-7 victory. Draper, I think you got the stats for the evening.
Yes, Mike. As far as first down conversions are concerned, Cal and DeSales are pretty equal, with DeSales slightly edging them out with 14 first downs, and Cal had 13. DeSales came out in the second half, and they had more rushing attempts, so they got 6 rushing first downs in the second half, and passing first downs, they ended the game with 6. So looks like as a totality of the game was pretty evenly matched there. Cal had 9 passing first downs and couldn't quite get the running game going. Only had 3 rushing first downs there. Third down efficiency definitely played a huge role in the outcome of the game. Cal was 5 for 11, and DeSales was 1 of 7. So quite a few fourth downs as well for both teams in the game. Cal was 3 of 5, and DeSales was 1 for 1. Total yards in the game, 298 for DeSales and 238 by the Centurions there. Passing 196 for the Centurions and 167 passing yards for DeSales. 15 of 26 for completions for Cal, 9 of 19 for DeSales, with a passing average of 18.56 passing yards per attempt and 13 passing yards per attempt for the Centurions. From a rushing, totals were pretty low at the end of the first half. DeSales came out in the second half and ran the ball pretty effectively, ending the game with 131 rushing yards, and the Centurions were pretty stagnant with 42 rushing yards for the game. As far as attempts, they were pretty balanced with 24 rushing attempts for the Centurions and 25 for DeSales, and they average about 5 yards per carry with their rushing attempts compared to Cal only averaging about 2 yards per carry. So penalties were a big factor in this game. The Centurions had 13 penalties for 116 yards, where DeSales only had 2 penalties for 17 yards throughout the game, and those were primarily attributed to offensive penalties. And turnovers were definitely another factor in the game, where after the first half, DeSales didn't have any additional turnovers. They had those 2 interceptions in the first half, and Cal actually had 4 turnovers, with 3 of them being fumbles, and those fumbles were actually lost there. And extra points were 1 for 1 for the Centurions and 3 of 4 for DeSales, and they had 1 field goal attempt, and it was successful with 2 punts for DeSales with 51 punting yards. Time of possession, 48 for DeSales. So that's it for our stats, Mike.
Okay, well, a game, as we talked about before, you got to cut back on penalties, you got to cut back on turnovers. Centurions not able to do either of those tonight.
Yep. In a playoff game like this, those are definitely 2 factors that you coach throughout your preparation for the week, taking care of the football, limiting the penalties, and just making sure every player is executing on every play.
Well, let's take a look. Let's talk about some seniors now. Of course, we're losing a bunch of seniors. We had about 20 of them this year, and look at a few highlights. And when you start out, you got to talk about Anthony Sabatino. Just want to go over a few things that Anthony did this year. Single game individual records. He threw 5 against Bullitt Central to be the second most ever in a game. He threw for 200, and Mercer County is going to love that Sabatino's not here anymore, because he threw for 289 against them in the regular season, 298 against them in the playoffs last year, both new records at Christian Academy. I'm trying to look at some other ones we may have had here of him. I'm just going to go over some other records we had from other players this year. Luke Leeper, 8 touchdowns in a game. Puts him up. 8 was the 3rd most by any receiver, which a bunch of other players. Gage Guerin, 135 yards receiving, 4th most in an individual game. Let's see. I know there was a couple others here. Oh, how can I miss this one? Of course, we remember another senior, Harrison Zimmer, 301 yards rushing against Eastern this year to make a new all-time record for the Centurions in a single game. Luke Leeper, I said 8. He also had 9 receptions in another game, which ties Milton Wright for most receptions in a game. Season records, Anthony Sabatino has a ton of them with the Centurions. I should say one that people may not realize is Gage Guerin tonight with those 2 interceptions. Gives him 7 on the year, which puts him right behind Chad Llewellyn, who had 8 in a season. So Gage Guerin now the second most interceptions on a season. And I could just go on and on about career records and individual game records, but take my word, there were a ton of them. Anthony Sabatino, in just 2 years as quarterback, is going to end up with the 2nd most completions. He is going to have the 2nd most yards. He's going to have the 2nd highest completion percentage, the 2nd most touchdowns in a career. Rushing records, Harrison Zimmer is going to come out with the 3rd most attempts and also the 3rd most yards gained in a career at Christian Academy. Harrison Zimmer will have the 2nd most touchdowns, 3rd most touchdowns scored in a career. So we want to say thank you to those 2 young men and other players that are seniors who are going to miss. Nate Dobbs came back to play this year for Coach Cantwell. What a great job he did back in the secondary this year. Kevin King, the nice possession receiver, coming through with a lot of key catches during the year. Makai Mays out this year, the transfer of the good year. Nate Sattel, Justin McDonald, Greg Gitcher all saw some key playing time during the year. We talked about Anthony Sabatino. Harrison Zimmer, we talked about Jacob Sutherland, receiver of the fake punt tonight. And Jacob, mainly a linebacker with a great career here. Other seniors, I don't want to miss Henry Fetter. And what can we say about Henry Fetter? I believe, he's at least a 3-year starter, maybe a 4-year starter at center. When he started to play defensive line this year, the defense got a lot better. And just a great young man. Going to Asbury on a baseball scholarship. Jalen Baskin got some key moments and times this year. Jacob Sacre, that left starting guard on the offensive line. Ethan Naughton, some playing time this year. Stingray Miller, a force on that left side. And what can we say? Big John Young, that right side. When Darren was doing games, he'd at least once a game he'd say, I think I just saw John Young pancake another guy. And he'll be going to UK to play on. And then finally Seth Harrington. And then, of course, what do we can say about Luke Leeper? Thank you, Draper. I missed Jake Taylor. Great linebacking this year. And Luke Leeper, we're going to save him for last. What a great year receiving for the Centurions. He was just a key leader on the team, not only in receiving, but just one of those guys that led this team. Other players could always go to him, and he'd get players fired up. And guys that we enjoyed having for 4 years and are sorely going to miss over these next years.
Absolutely. What a way the seniors have had a lot of success over the last 4 years, and we wish them nothing but success, and very grateful for their contributions and services to this football program over the years.
Big thanks to Clay Masters on camera for us all year, as he was last year, and great to have him. Also, thanks to Brad Guerin, who was on stats for the majority of the year. He and Shane Weaver shared that responsibility. Great to have them both doing that. Draper, great to have you tonight, man.
Thank you so much.
Good to have you in the booth. It was good having you. Fun, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot of fun, and you do a great job, and I'm extremely honored to be able to have this experience with you tonight, Mike.
Well, you're on the sub list now, buddy, so we got your name, so good to have you here. Sorry we gave you such a tough game to start, but good to have you, and biggest thanks to you fans who joined us all year. It was great giving you the games. We'll be doing basketball. It'll be coming up shortly. Come tomorrow night at, I believe, chili dinner at 5 o'clock. Then you can see all the basketball teams beginning, I believe, at 6:30 and get a sneak peek at them. And then, of course, their seasons start in December, and we'll have all their action right here on Live Sportscaster as well, and you can join us for those. But thanks for joining us during the football season. And for Draper Hall and myself, Mike Botello, thanks for joining us. Have a great year. Let's go Centurions in basketball. Good night, everybody. Great to have you.